What's going on, folks? And thank you for tuning in with me to another edition of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. And, of course, I am your host, the man they call Ghost. And once again, folks, I want to thank you very much for tuning in with me. This is episode number... Jesus Christ, what is it, 630... What the hell is it? I even forgot. 638. 638 episodes of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast for all the folks that are keeping track of the True Capitalist Radio show. And before we get into anything else, I ask everybody to please spread this show link around like wildfire, okay? If you're listening to the sound of my voice, you are listening to The Underground. So, without any further ado, if you could just please spread this show link around like wildfire, especially if it's around some triggered leftists, some liberals, somebody who's going to take offense, because that's what this show is intended to do. Do you understand that we are practicing our First Amendment to the fullest extent while we still have it here in America? And we're not going to shy away from anything on this broadcast. That's why, if you're listening to this show, it's because it's the rawest thing on the fucking internet. Excuse my French, but it's a Baller Friday. Anyway, folks, thank you very much for tuning in with me. Once again, this is November 9th, 2018. And I want to thank you for tuning in with me on this Baller Friday. That's right, folks. It's Baller Friday. And I hope that you're celebrating Baller Friday like us capitalists do. And if you are new to the broadcast and don't know what Baller Friday means, well, let me explain it to you. It's that time of the week when capitalists look back upon the week's wages, the week's salary, the week's labor, and they look back on it and bask. And bask in it with their greatest vice, their most favorite vice. Unfortunately, mine used to be alcohol here, but I'm going to be honest with you. I'm trying to stop alcohol. I have not had another drink of alcohol. I'm on a diet. I'll talk about that in a minute. Anyway, I've got a high-quality H2O here. I hope that you have a beer or wine or some kind of an alcoholic spirit. If you don't drink, get yourself a whole pie and one fork, a gallon of Haagen-Dazs, whatever it is that you like to do. And I want to say cheers to you, all you capitalists throughout the world. Happy Baller Friday, baby. All right, cheers to you all. I wish that was beer, but anyway, let's get to the point. Anyway, I don't want to get into this, but I'm not drinking anymore. And the reason I'm not drinking is because I want to be honest with you. I want to get into some shape. I'm not, some ham bone by any means. Don't get me wrong, but, you're going to be drinking for 10 years straight, especially when it comes to the libation of beer. You're definitely going to get yourself the proverbial beer gut. So as a result, I've trimmed down. I'm on this hot keto diet, or whatever the hell it is. And I've been on it here for about a week, and by God, I want to be honest with you, I have never felt better in my life. I don't know if you folks can even hear it. If you can even sense it. I mean, I've got more energy now. I'm not suffering from any of these physical ailments that I was going through. Remember, folks, a couple of weeks back, I was talking about, panic attacks. I was talking about anxiety because of the vitamin B deficiency that alcoholism causes. Well, folks, instead of going to a doctor and having them, fill me up with a pill or something, some kind of chemically induced pharmaceutical bullshit that is meant to, cause more ailments so you can take more pills, etc., I decided to take it upon myself to research, because I'm the only one that's feeling me. I'm the only one that's feeling my body here. And I took the ailments that I was taking, or that I was going through, and I researched them, and I found out what exactly is wrong with me. And it has nothing to do with anything other than being malnourished, like I've told everybody before. Malnourished. We're not taking the right vitamins, we're not taking the right minerals, we're not taking the right amino acids, etc. And what I decided to do, folks, was I decided to realize that since I have a vitamin B deficiency because of my alcoholism, and believe me, if you're getting off alcohol and you have been somewhat of an abuser of it or an alcoholic, whatever you want to call it, believe me, all right, and you want to get off of it, one of the first things that you're going to find out is you're going to have anxiety attacks. You're going to have panic. I was having panic attacks, for heaven's sake. And what I found out, folks, is that alcohol literally eats up the B vitamins in your system. And if you look up, and there's a whole range of B vitamins. All right, there's like vitamin B1, B2, B3, B5, B12, and if you are somewhat deficient, or if you have a major deficiency in any of these B vitamins, you could literally be suffering a whole array of physical ailments that have nothing to do with the actual physical ailment, other than the fact that you were deficient in B vitamins. And a lot of the things I was suffering from was obviously panic attacks, anxiety. I talked about it on here on the show. Another thing I was suffering from was heart palpitations, and I was dizzy, vertigo. I mean, let me tell you something, folks. I mean, I don't know if you go, look, I get 3 or 4 shows ago, I wasn't feeling very good. I didn't have any energy. I was tired. And I want to be honest with you, for the past month, I've been very worried about my health, all right? I mean, I don't mean to be laughing about it, but I've been really worried about it because, you feel all these onset ailments and you think that there's something seriously wrong with you. But what I realized is that I abused my body, and, you just got to put yourself on the right track. Your body is a vehicle that is very resilient. You just have to give it the proper nutrients so that it can heal itself. And that's exactly what I did, folks. I got myself a vitamin. Now, look, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not going to promote vitamins. I'm not like the guy, Alex, whatever his name is. My filters! I'm not like that whatsoever. But I do understand why he's selling, these vitamins. I want to tell you a trick that the vitamin game is doing right now. Now, I'm not trying to say the vitamin industry is bad by any means. But what they're doing now, in my opinion, is they are now cutting the dosage of vitamins so that it can make you buy more vitamins on a more frequent basis. Because, folks, they do have, and they have had, the ability to just go ahead and put in a big punch of vitamin and nutrition that you need in one pill that you only need for one day. And you don't need to take, array of pills. You don't need all this mega stuff. You don't need all that stuff, man. The problem is that the companies that brought up their companies or their organizations with these very potent vitamins now realize the money is in obviously separating it, cutting up the vitamin, and, instead of somebody paying $20 every 180 days, now they're going to pay like $40 every 30 days. And this is where the vitamin business is going. So I did extensive research. Believe me, folks, you know me. You listen to me. The whole reason why you listen to the broadcast is either because you think I'm an idiot and you think I'm a redneck or whatever, that whole angle, or you respect what I say. You understand that I say a lot of facts. You understand that I'm very intelligent and that I'm very aware of what's going on. So the reason why is because I research everything intensely. And before I bought a supplement, I researched very extensively on this supplement. Now, I don't want to plug the supplement, but I do want to let everybody know that there are supplements like an all-around multivitamin that you can purchase that you only have to take one a day, and it gives you, and look, let me I got it right here. Look at this. It gives you 100% daily. Everything that I'm about to read to you is above whatever the average value, the percentage that you need per day of each vitamin. Vitamin A, 100%. Vitamin C, 333%. Vitamin D, 150%. Vitamin E, 100%. And you see, the reason I bought these, folks, is why? I got off alcohol. I was vitamin B deficient. Check out vitamin B1, which is thiamine, 5,000% of the daily value, okay? Vitamin B2, which is riboflavin, it is 4,412% of the daily value. Niacin, which I believe is B5, if I'm not mistaken, 375% of your daily value. Vitamin B6, 3,750% of your daily value, etc., etc. Anyway, you only got to take one of these a day. And listen, I'm not selling you. I'm not even going to promote it. I'm just going to tell you, you can find it yourself. You could, and I already told the Inner Circle. I've told the True Capitalist Radio chat room because, I want them to be healthy. You buy one of these, and you take one pill a day for 180 days. 180 days, and you only pay like $20 per bottle of pills. So I'm literally paying $20 for these vitamins, okay? And they're from a reputable company. And not to mention, you're not going to find it on the shelf. You got to go online to buy this. $20. Got all. I could read you all of them, but I don't want to bore you with all this, health stuff. I'm just trying to tell you why, if you feel that I'm a little bit hyper, I got a little bit more energy, it's because of the things that I'm doing with myself, and I'm just telling you what I'm doing. You all hear me, you've seen me, or you've heard how I've felt. You know I've drank a long time, etc. I'm just trying to tell you what I'm doing, and I'm taking one of those, and I'm doing the keto diet. I am doing the whole keto thing. There's no sugar, no carbohydrates. And if you are going to get carbohydrates, you want to get carbohydrates from the vegetables. Okay? From the vegetables. Now, I have no sugar. I'm not even going to eat any kind of fruits because I literally want no sugar. I think not only, because listen, I want to be honest with you. I think I had a whole array of things wrong with me. I actually had acid reflux. I had, what else? Panic attacks, anxiety, palpitations, vertigo. What else I was? I was really, really messed up, man. So, now I have to admit it was probably a big excuse me. I also had hypoglycemia is what I was going to say. This is the, if you look up hypoglycemia, it's pre-diabetic. It's when you put in so much sugar, so many carbs are bad for you, where your pancreas produces insulin. And because you put in these carbs and sugars, you tend to just kind of spike your sugar level at a very, very high rate. And what happens is, because the insulin is literally just trying to break down the sugar and carbs, the blood sugar level in your blood goes down very low. And in hypoglycemia, what's really, really scary is if your blood pressure, your blood sugar goes too low. If your blood sugar goes too low, there's a very good chance you could have a very serious complication. So I found that my blood sugar was going too low. I almost thought I was going to faint at times. Believe me, I was very concerned about my health, okay? It was a very big wake-up call. I couldn't just tough guy shake this shit off. So I decided to do something about it, and instead of going to a fucking doctor who would have probably, all those ailments that I just told you, he would have fucking popped a pill that, of course, I'd have to be dependent on every month. And, the whole proverbial scam of this goddamn medical system. And the reason I'm saying this, folks, is because of me. I just want to explain something to you. This medical industry that we have in America is a complete and utter evil entity of corruption, criminality. I mean, I could go on and on. And I'm talking about the pharmaceutical companies, and I'm talking about the healthcare industry. I mean, they are not there to take care of you, folks. Okay? Listen to me. Why do you think I don't even want to go to them? Now, don't get me wrong. Let's say you're one of these daredevils and you're going biking or mountain biking or whatever, you break your leg or you get into a serious injury or you get hit by a car. When it comes to medical trauma, oh yeah, the United States hands down is the best, but that's a whole other different component to the general practitioner or the general pharmaceutical. You have to understand, folks, I literally, in my opinion, am starting to cure myself of these ailments. You're listening to me. You guys listen to me, you can tell, even the people in the chat room here are saying, yeah, Ghost sounds pretty hyped today. And I want to be honest with you, it's just what I've been taking. I'm no longer down in a rut. I'm no longer talking garbage. I'm no longer this and that. I feel good. And I want you all to feel good, to be honest with you, folks. And I don't want you to go I mean, worst case scenario, if you take some vitamins and you do some things and it doesn't work, well, then by God, go to the doctor. But in my opinion, folks, I would never want these people who have there's no legal, you can look this up for yourself. There's nothing legal that states that a doctor has to cure you if there is a cure available. Okay, folks? This is a self-regulated industry. There's no one regulating the goddamn healthcare or the pharmaceutical companies. No one. No one is regulating these people. And I don't understand why people don't ask questions. Like, wait, why are we so sick now? What's going on here? How come we've got so many people that are diagnosed with cancer and that have been right off the way? The answer to cancer is to what? Put you with this fucking chemotherapy. And folks, chemotherapy is what kills you. It's chemotherapy is what kills you, and these doctors have a vested interest in making sure that they diagnose you with cancer even at the slightest glimpse of some kind of growth, quote unquote. The people that created, the doctors that created the PSA test, which is the test to test whether or not you have prostate cancer, and the mammogram, the guy who did that, they regret that they ever invented it. You can look it up. They regret it because they, not in their wildest dreams, thought that their test to look for something that's very serious was going to be used in such a wide amount, in such a mass amount, so that they can just go ahead and start selling these people chemotherapy. Folks, you know that the doctors get a kickback from the chemotherapy that they diagnose you with. They get a kickback. It's legal. You can look this up for yourself. It's all there. You know, that's what I love about the internet. You can listen to me and you can say, I don't believe ghosts. Here, let me see this. And you're going to find out I'm exactly right. So that's why I'm trying to tell you folks what has been happening to me for the past month. You all have been listening, you know. I mean, oh man, panic attacks, and oh shit, I think I'm going to faint, and I mean, you all heard me. I mean, you can probably hear it when I broadcast. And here for the past week or so, I've literally cut out all sugar. I'm not drinking. There's no carbs whatsoever, even though I like spaghetti. Yay, spaghetti! Even though I love spaghetti, I got to cut that crap out. I love French bread. You damn frogs. I love all that stuff. I had to cut it all out. And I'm only eating, and let me tell you what I'm eating, folks, so that you know that you just don't just eat a bunch of fucking steak. And that's the problem, too, folks. I had a big problem with that. Remember, you all know I was a big-ass steak eater, and I like these fucking steaks that are like 2 pounds, you know what I mean? Now, what I'm going to tell you is my personal opinion. It's what I'm doing. I'm not giving medical advice, folks, but I'm telling you, I feel great, and I want people to just know that I'm not joking around here. You're listening to me. And I'm not, I'm not freaking out. I mean, the best part about it is, folks, I was really concerned about the fucking panic attacks. The panic attacks were one of the worst things I ever felt in my life, aside from all the physical ailments. No panic attacks, no anxiety whatsoever, man. It's because, and to be honest with you, most, if you want my opinion, most panic attacks and anxiety comes from a vitamin B deficiency. Vitamin B as in boy, B deficiency. But what I suggest is you got to have a salad, okay? You got to have a massive salad because you want to be able to get some of the nutrients like potassium. Potassium is good for your heart. You want to make sure that you get magnesium and selenium. These three right here are going to you can literally have your heart healthy for hopefully 100 years if you just have those three elements, all right, in your system. That right there is literally, your heart is going to start feeling better. But you have to have those elements all the time so that your heart and the cells and everything can react appropriately so that it can heal itself. You know, it can do things, it can work properly, etc. So anyway, I have a massive salad, and then you have a moderate amount of protein, okay? Instead of having the 2-pound steak, Have a steak that's about, I don't know, I'm a pretty big guy, so I still have about a 10-ouncer, or I still have about a 9-ouncer. And what I do is I try to add fat to it as opposed to the protein. You know, you don't want to get full on the protein. You want to get full with fats. And I'm talking about good fats. I'm talking about avocados, cheese, nuts, butter. What did I tell you about butter? A butter a day, stick of butter a day keeps the doctor away. You want to get full on fats, because what will happen is that once you eat all that and then have the fats be the fuel to your body, you're going to actually reprogram your whole body from, as opposed to looking for sugar and carbs for energy, you're going to find that your body's going to look for another source of energy, and that source is going to be the fats that you give it as you have a meal. And if it can't get any more from that, then it'll start burning fat away from your body. And that's why the keto diet has been, it's mostly for vanity for most folks. But I want to be honest with you, I feel pretty damn good. And I'm just wanted to give you guys my story, just to let y'all know that this is what I'm doing. If I sound like I'm a little hyper and, you know, I'm not drinking, I'm not doing anything like that, I feel great. And I hope that you guys kind of take what I'm saying, and I hope that you can, you know, apply some of it to your life. I'm not trying to be any kind of a medical advice to any capacity, but I'm just telling you, man. I mean, I thought I was in some dire straits. I want to be completely honest with you. I was a little scared for the past month. But all you got to do is take the initiative, and you also got to do research. And remember, when you go to a doctor, where are you going? You're going to their practice. They're even telling you, for Christ's sake. Remember, all these people, they have to tell you what they're doing, or, you know, karma will come back to haunt them. That's why they call it a practice. They're practicing on you. Why don't you just practice on yourself and just, you know, what's bad? You give yourself some vitamins, you eat more vegetables, you can have nice, juicy, bloody steaks with as much salt and whatever the hell you want on it. As a matter of fact, you want to intake your salt. Believe it or not, I've been eating a lot of salt on everything and water. Salt, and man, I've been drinking so much water because I don't have soda anymore. That's the drink I go to. I know some of you guys are like, what, Ghost? I got to drink water with meals? Yes, you do, because I don't even want to describe what protein mixed with sugar does, but what the point I'm trying to make is that you need to do all these things. I would research keto if you're thinking about entertaining this diet. It's called keto, Keto, and properly know what's going on with it so that you don't have any kind of ill side effects. And to be honest with you, from my experience, folks, there's things called the keto flu, and there's side effects with doing keto, because remember, you're trying to reprogram your body. What you need to do is just keep drinking water and adding more salt to your diet, because we need salt. And I'm talking sea salt, folks. I'm not talking table salt. Remember what I told you about table salt? Table salt is like 50% sand and 50%, I don't know. Didn't they say they found plastic pellets now? We all knew it was sand in like glass with like a little bit of sodium, for Christ's sake. So get yourself some sea salt and make sure to salt your stuff up and keep drinking water. And you'll be surprised, because the water helps you stay hydrated. It helps you process all the intake of food that you have. And the salt, what it does a lot of things. Believe it or not, salt plays a key role in our body, which I don't understand why nobody even talks about this. They're telling us to stop salt, and when we stop salt, that's when the problems happen. Salt there's many factors of salt. Salt actually helps the electrical system of the nervous system be able to function properly. That's why, to be honest with you, aside from being vitamin B deficient right after I stopped drinking, I wasn't taking that much salt, and every time I would have like a salt and a lemon or something, because I tried to figure out anything to stop these damn panic attacks, the panic attacks would stop. They would just stop. And what it is that the salt helps the nervous system electrify itself. And another component that salt does, another thing that salt does, it also helps build hydrochloric acid, if I said it correctly. Hydrochloric acid, I think I said it correctly. And what that does, it helps the gut, the inside of the stomach, be able to produce the acids necessary to break down the food so that you can absorb the nutrients from the food. So I'm just trying to tell you what I've learned, folks, and I'm applying it to my life, and I've only applied it for like a week. And I feel great. And listen, as much as I want to have a beer, as much as I even want to have a Coca-Cola, I don't want to feel that way anymore. I don't want to feel belchy and feel horrible and bloated and just miserable. I feel good, man, and it's a great way to feel going into the holidays. I'll tell you that right now, folks. So anyway, sorry for talking about me all the time, but I said this with the intention of hoping helping some of you folks, because especially if you're a capitalist, I want you to live a long time. And I want you to impact the world like us capitalists need to do once again. All right? Anyway, thank you very much for listening, folks. And we'll go ahead. And somebody's asking, what about red onions and raw garlic? Of course, you can have as many vegetables as you want on keto. You can have as many vegetables as you want. I mean, I have red onions and garlic every day in my salad. Believe me. I have a Power Punch salad that everybody would love. And it's so fucking filled with health, it's just mwah. So anyway, but I'll get to that later. Let's go ahead and talk about some finances here, because I know I haven't gotten to the finances in a couple of days because we've been having well, I guess you could call it an election or whatever. But we'll get to that in a minute. We'll get to that later. Let's go ahead and talk a little cryptocurrency, shall we, folks? Now, cryptocurrency is having a slight contraction. We did have a very, very big bump here a day before yesterday and the day before that. But we are starting to come down. But the levels of the come down here is at the current market cap is $212 billion. That's the current market capitalization. So I'm starting to sense, if you want my opinion, that we may start seeing that holiday rally that everybody on the internets and everybody in the mainstream business media, on the television, and crypto experts have been saying is going to be the holiday rally in crypto. I mean, I was reading today, Forbes announced that institutional investors are changing the game of crypto. In the article, it said that large hedge funds and endowment funds are entering into the crypto market. So as I suggested, or as I've prognosticated, I should say, the institutional investors are slowly coming in. And as I've been stating, folks, you have to be patient. Remember, long-term investment reigns supreme. I've always suggested this. It's not as if you can't make liquidity in the short pattern or swing trading plays. But if you do, make sure to take that liquidity and put it in a long-term investment, because the bigger the long-term investment, the more money you make in the long term. Okay? Now, right now, if you want my opinion, we're starting to slowly see these institutional investors from Wall Street come in. I think that they have been in. I think the big guys have been in. They're the ones causing all the fluctuations in the market. I'm talking about the guys from Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan. I mean, y'all remember in 2017 when Jamie Dimon, the CEO of JP Morgan, was bashing cryptocurrency, saying that, are you kidding me? My daughter, she bought a couple of Bitcoins, she made a few bucks, and she thinks she's an expert. And said he would fire any of his employees if they were caught trading Bitcoin. Lo and behold, when he said that, a crash in the market happened, and guess who was buying? Guess who was buying? JP Morgan Europe. Huh? JP Morgan's wing in Europe. And that's just one. That's just one incident. And you can read about that, folks. It's all online. Anyway, I just want to let y'all know that I feel that time is ripe here, man. Time is ripe. You can sense it. Especially for the coins that we've been covering here. I believe that we're going to see some major increases. Now, what I'm really upset about is that we have a lot of coins in the market here that have no business being traded, have no business being even... and you know why I say this? Because, listen, people... I mean, the cryptocurrency market is a very small market in comparison to the world population. So that means that anybody who knows about it, they can get other people into it, and there's a bunch of nefarious people that'll get people into it for nefarious, financially schemeful purposes. Now, what's happening here, in my opinion, with the cryptocurrency market is you're having a lot of people pump these shit coins that have no technology, no acceptance, nothing. And they're pumping them by probably selling a bunch of goofs that, hey, Bitcoin went to $20,000 and it was once, 20 cents or whatever the hell it was. And they sell these people like, hey, why don't you buy this right here and be a part of the ICO, the initial coin offering, dude. You know what I mean? Why don't you go ahead and let me know? And then you got people that are like, you know what? He's right. I mean, I did see Bitcoin go up to about $20,000, and it would be great to just go ahead and have ourselves a little bit of a piece, at this. How much is it to invest? Well, it'll take about $10,000 just for a small, and it goes from there. That's why you have all the market cap right now in these shit coins, because you've got shysters out here who are actually selling people on these shit coins, and that's where a lot of the market cap is. I mean, where these coins have nothing. They have no, acceptance. What that means is that there's a part of the retail market or some market that accepts it as a means of exchanging goods and services, or it has no technology, meaning that it has no technology to sustain the future growth and the evolutionary technological progression of crypto itself. So anyway, that's what I believe right now. But as the mainstream investors in the Wall Street market start coming into crypto, I think we're going to see a major increase in this market cap, man. I'm not kidding around. And it's happening. I mean, I told you about the Forbes here, that large hedge funds and endowment funds are entering in the market. Guess what? Euro trading platform for the Europeans, the Euro trading platform, eToro. eToro, I'm sure some of you Europeans are very well aware of that particular trading platform. It's a stock trading platform in Europe. It's rolling out cryptocurrency wallets for its Android and iPhone apps. All right, I mean, are you kidding me? This is what I'm saying. It's the beginning, man. Crypto is poised for a rally at the end of 2018 and into 2019. I mean, I'm just giving you what I see as the facts, and I'm anticipating, and I know there's a lot of people that have been investing, and they're waiting for it, baby. They want a good 2019. Now, let's go ahead and cover a couple of crypto, and then we'll go ahead and move over to the stock market. I'm sure everybody wants to know a little bit about that as well. Let's get to Bitcoin, folks. BTC market cap is $110 billion market cap. Circulating supply is 17.3 million. In the past 24 hours, it's gone down 0.89%. Current price for Bitcoin is $6,391.02 per Bitcoin. Let's get to Ethereum, ETH. I don't know what the hell is going on with ETH, but it's one of those damn coins where you know that they have flawed technology, but yet then again they were the second kid in the blockchain, really. I mean, they've been around. So who the hell knows? You got some big-time players, believe it or not, trying to talk highly of it, so who knows? I still got a mining contract on it. So I'm still obtaining it to a certain extent. But let's get to Ethereum. ETH market capitalization is $21 billion market cap. Circulating supply is 103 million in circulation. In the past 24 hours, we have seen Ethereum go down 1.03%. The current price for Ethereum is $210.26 per Ethereum. Now, like I said, we're seeing some red in the market. There's some contraction. Let's get to Ripple, okay? Now, what do I tell you about Ripple? I'm not a big fan of Ripple. This is not even a cryptocurrency. It's a private ledger. And it's not even... It breaks the whole concept of cryptocurrency, man. I mean, the concept of cryptocurrency, the whole initial idea of it is what that... We didn't need centralization of monetary policy. We didn't need a Federal Reserve. That's why it was created. Now, when it comes to Ripple, Ripple is a private coin. It is a private blockchain. I mean, the people that own it and have control of it are the creators of Ripple. Now, the symbol of Ripple is XRP. The only reason I'm covering it is because, for whatever reason, they've been able to tie some deals down with some legit financial institutions in the international community to use their blockchain to help transact deals, amongst the banking institutions, to process transactions. So, I mean, in my opinion, I think this is a hold here. Obtain and hold for at least 6 months and wait and see. I mean, it's been going up since I've been covering it because, I mean, you can't deny the hype. You can't deny what everybody's saying in the mainstream media. You can't deny the deals. So, you want a little piece of it, if you want a little piece of it, that's what I'm saying. XRP is the symbol for Ripple. Market capitalization is $20 billion for Ripple. Circulating supply for Ripple is 40 billion in circulation. That's right, 40 billion. That's another reason why I don't like Ripple, but hey, whatever. But hey, it's one of the ones in the green in a sea of red today in the crypto markets. Ripple is up 1.96%. The current price for Ripple is 50 cents, folks. 50 cents per Ripple. Let's get to Bitcoin Cash, folks. It's been rising high for the anticipated hard fork on this son of a bitch. Let's take a look at it. Symbol BCH. Market capitalization is $9.5 billion market cap. Circulating supply is 17.4 million in circulation. In the past 24 hours, we have seen Bitcoin Cash go down 5.04%. Current price for Bitcoin Cash is $546.60 per Bitcoin Cash. Let's get to Litecoin, folks. Who the hell knows what the hell's going to happen with Litecoin? It's been one of the OGs in cryptocurrency. The only reason it hasn't gone anywhere is, and I'm sure you already know about this, Charlie Lee, the asshole autist who just can't keep his fingers out of damn Twitter to ruin deals for himself. He just can't shut up. But anyway, I still cover it because, I know there's a lot of investors in it, and who knows? LTC is the symbol for Litecoin. Market capitalization is $3 billion market cap. Circulating supply is 59 million in circulation. In the past 24 hours, Litecoin has gone down 0.86%. Current price for Litecoin is $52.02 per Litecoin. Let's get to Monero, folks. Monero, XMR is the symbol. Market capitalization is $1.7 billion market cap. The circulating supply is 16 million in circulation. In the past 24 hours, Monero has gone down 0.90%. Current price for Monero is $106.67 per Monero. Now let's get to Dash, folks. DASH. And I'm not too sure if the Dash contracts are still on sale, but they were. And I just want to remind everybody, if you want to get a mining contract, which means that you're going to lease out some hardware and have that hardware mine cryptocurrency for you for a certain amount of time, so typically it's 2 years, I'd strongly advise you to do it now while prices of crypto are low, baby. That's all I'm saying. All right, while prices of crypto are low. All right, take a look at my Gab right now if you want to take a look at the Genesis-mining.com pricing. All right, and if you're going to entertain a mining contract at Genesis-mining.com, you got to use the discount code, baby. Everybody's got to use the discount code. The discount code is WEA296. Once again, the discount code for Genesis-mining.com, WEA296. Now, let's go ahead and get to Dash because, I like Dash for a lot of reasons. It's been an OG in the blockchain, low circulation, fast transaction speed, low transaction fee, etc. Much acceptance. Dash has got much acceptance in the retail markets across the globe. So that's another reason why I like it. So let's take a look at it. DASH market capitalization is $1.3 billion market cap. Circulating supply is 8.4 million. 8.4 million in circulation. In the past 24 hours, we have seen Dash go down 3.02%. The current price for Dash is $159.43 per Dash. All right, folks, let's get to my favorite privacy coin. I'm talking about Zcash, baby. ZEC is the symbol. ZEC. Market capitalization is $693 million market cap. Circulating supply is a nice and still very low 5.2 million in circulation. In the past 24 hours, Zcash has gone down 2.32%. Once again, a lot of red in this market. Current price for Zcash is $133.33 per Zcash. Let's get to 0x, folks. ZRX. Once again, I have this in my holdings because I definitely believe that it is going to take the same trajectory as EOS. We've talked about this before. Let's go ahead and cover it. $339 million market cap for 0x. ZRX is the symbol. Current circulating supply is 546 million in circulation. In the past 24 hours, 0x has gone down 0.86%. Current price for 0x is 71 cents, okay? And Quantum QTUM, my biggest holding, based on the technology, based on the potential airdrops, the QRC20 tokens that are coming out, the look, I've already told you this. Let's just cover it. QTUM, and I do want to say something before I get to anything else. I want to thank everybody who's been donating quantum, or I should just say throwing quantum into the cryptocurrency wishing well. And I want to thank people that are throwing also Ethereum Classic. I forgot Ethereum Classic. Shit. Ethereum Classic as well. There's been people that are throwing a little Bitcoin, a little everything. That's why I'm on the broadcast. That's why I'm doing this. And I want to say sincerely thank you guys. I mean, it's not a tremendous amount, but it shows that, hey, man, we love you, Ghost, and we appreciate the effort. So that's why I'm here. QTUM made me think of that, so thank all you guys out there that are doing that. I really appreciate it, man. And cheers to you guys. QTUM market capitalization is $349 million market cap. The circulating supply is 89 million in circulation. In the past 24 hours, we have seen QTUM go down 1.77%. The current price for QTUM or Quantum is $3.93, okay? Let me get to fucking Ethereum Classic. Forgot all about it. It's in the green! What am I doing? Ethereum Classic, ETC is the symbol. I'm starting to like this, man. I've got some in the portfolio now. And thank you guys for throwing some out there. I'm not even kidding me. I like it. I like it. ETC market capitalization is $1 billion market cap for Ethereum Classic. The circulating supply is 105 million in circulation. In the past 24 hours, Ethereum Classic has gone up 0.10%. Current price for Ethereum Classic, $9.50. And we're running out of time here. I didn't mean to talk so much about the health stuff at the beginning, but I just wanted to let y'all know. Wanted to give you all the 411, etc. And I hope that helps you. And if it doesn't, well, cheers. All right. Anyway, let's go ahead and get to some stock coverage here. All right, because we got a lot to talk about. I mean, I got a lot of production notes here. And hey, you guys that are expecting production notes, I'm working on them this weekend for sure, okay? I haven't had the energy. Remember, I've been talking about, oh, man, I don't have the energy. I got to do this. I got to do that. I feel great. So give me some time, and I'll get them to you guys. And like I said, I'll give you guys a Christmas card on top of it because you guys have been cool. And by the way, if you do want something like that, go ahead and throw something in the cryptocurrency wishing well at ghost.report. Click the cryptocurrency wishing well tab and throw something in the wishing well. And if you throw over $25, all right, we'll go ahead and send you some production notes while they last, okay? And And if I run out of production notes, I'll throw something else in there. Maybe I'll give you all a Christmas card as well, because it's Christmas time, and I want to say Merry Christmas, all right? I don't want to hear any of this happy holiday horse shit. All right, anyway, let's go ahead and get to stocks, folks, all right? Stocks, let's go ahead and talk about them. Why are they going down? They are falling, at least today. We saw a decent day yesterday. They're falling because the tech industry, or the tech stocks, they're not producing very good earnings, okay? And there's a lot of people on Wall Street that are speculating that the reason tech isn't doing so well is because of the Chinese tariff war that we have going on with China. I particularly don't believe that. I just think that the tech isn't worth the shit. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be so vulgar about it, but let's get real. How long has Facebook been around? How long has Twitter been around? How long has Instagram? I mean, give me a break. It's like we've stood still in technology. I'm not kidding. It's like we're standing still here. Now, don't get me wrong. Some of the phone stuff is pretty good, but that's because people and idiots are willing to spend $1,000 a phone every fucking 4 or 5 months. Give me a break. But I'm not impressed with the tech industry at all. I'm not impressed at all. All right? I mean, all this Internet of Things, I mean, that is the most stupidest garbage I've ever seen in my life. So what? You can connect my refrigerator to the Internet. So what? My garbage is on the Internet. My garbage can. And you know, oh, Jesus Christ. You know what I saw in a commercial? I don't mean to be going off keister here, but this insane concept that you can unlock your door with your cell phone. That means your goddamn fucking lock to your front door of your home is on the Internet. What is this insanity? Oh my God. I want to be honest with you folks. I've been around this Internet a long time. It's very easy to hack all these stupid little Internet of things, all right? I'm not joking. I don't want to say that I had anything to do with it, but I have been a part, let's just put it that way, of, Internet tomfoolery in which, you catch unsecured cameras that are just connected on the Internet, and you kind of get through. I don't want to tell people how you find them, but anyway, you find them, all right, and then you can kind of just, go right in and just start taking control of the cameras. And then you can start taking control of the speaker on the camera and freak everybody out in the business or in the house. I mean, I'm not joking. Why are these people doing this to themselves? Hey, I'm techie, dude. You know that I've got this camera that's in my house that's connected to the Internet, and what? The lock to my door is connected to the Internet, dude. Stupid fucking imbeciles, man. No wonder we're turning a bunch of fucking liberal faggots out here. Anyway, sorry, folks. I didn't mean to go off keister. I'm just saying that's why the stock market is down, because tech is not producing in the earnings seasons. Let's put it that way, all right? Anyway, let's get to the Dow Jones Industrial. It is down today 201.92 points, a percentage decrease of 0.77%. Closing out the Dow Jones Industrial at 25,989.30 points for the Dow Jones Industrial. All right, look, I'm serious. Some of you guys in the True Capitalist Radio chat room know what I'm talking about, all right? Some of you, look, that's all I'm saying. You guys have been there. I'm just saying, why would anybody want to put their fucking lock of their front door on the Internet? It's insane. Oh. I mean, burglars aren't even going to be these, tough guys anymore. You know that? I mean, this is how faggotry we're going. I'm not kidding around. I mean, at least when you're a burglar, you got to have balls to kind of, break open a fucking window or a door or some shit and make sure that, you're willing to take whatever's going to come at you after that. And, if there's nothing that comes at you after that, you grab the loot and you scram. And you got fingerprints and all kinds of... No, some fucking 12-year-old... all right, that, wants to take the... who knows? I mean, Jesus Christ, man. Technology is turning us into a bunch of faggots, man. I'm not even joking around. Good God. I mean, I'm trying to grab for this drink here, and it's water. I still have the mental thing that I'm drinking beer, but anyway. Anyway, let's get to the S&P 500, okay? S&P 500 is down 25.82 points, a percentage decrease of 0.92%, closing out the S&P at 2,781.01 points for the S&P 500. Let's get to the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ is also down because, Jesus Christ, I mean, the earnings of tech sucked. All right, it's down 123.98 points, a percentage decrease of 1.65% decrease on the day, closing out the NASDAQ at 7,406.90 points for the NASDAQ composite, man. Good God. Freaking tech. I'm sick of tech. I'm sick of tech, man. Why don't you make something that's worth a crap? Well, I take that back. I mean, I can't even, now that I think about that, what do I want? What else can technology do that we can? There's nothing. I mean, it's getting so freaked out now, folks, that, you've got sex doll robots, that, I'm not kidding. There's already a sex doll brothel somewhere. I think it's in the United States, but I'm pretty sure if there's not one here, they've already done that in Freak Show Europe. I'll tell you that right now. And where we go from there, where we're fucking mechanical robots, for Christ's sake. Jesus, you fucking morons. Anyway, let's get to commodities, all right, folks? I'm sorry, I'm not impressed with tech, all right? The only thing that I'm impressed with is that I can still be in contact with the folks that are listening to the broadcast, that we can convey ideas, at least while we can, and not be censored. I can't say that anymore because, social media, which is, I think, the cancer of the internet, I mean, it has made people just accept censorship just because they want to be popular in a social media. Just because they have a bunch of friends following them on their social media. That's literally what it's all about. That's why people are shutting up. Or demonetization. It's stupid. Anyway, let's get to commodities, folks, all right? Energy, WTI sweet crude. All right, WTI sweet crude is down 48 cents. A percentage decrease of 0.79%, closing out WTI at $60.19. And why are we seeing this damn price go down so low? Because not only is Saudi Arabia overproducing because they got their hand caught in the Khashoggi cookie jar. I don't want to go over that. But at the same time, the United States is now a producer of crude oil, baby. And not only are we, Canadia's a producer, everybody's producing oil all of a sudden. There's a lot of it. There's a lot. The thing we need out here in America is we need more oil refineries so we can refine that oil into gasoline so the gasoline prices could go down to $1 a goddamn gallon again. But I doubt that'll happen. Right? I mean, the last time I saw $1 a gallon was after 9/11. After 9/11, the Saudis were like, "Oh shit, we better just keep producing oil, keep producing oil." They produced so much, man. It was $1 a barrel, man. I'm not even joking. I remember right after 9/11, 2001. Anyway, let's get to Brent crude. Brent crude is down, folks. 47 cents, a percentage decrease of 0.67%, closing out Brent crude at $70.18 per barrel of Brent crude oil. Gasoline it's going down, though. Gasoline's going down. Gasoline down 1.39%. Although natural gas is going up. It is up 4.97%. And heating oil is starting to see its come up because it's starting to get a little cold out here. Heating oil is up 0.21%. Let's go ahead and get to the metals, shall we? The metals! Let's get to the goddamn metals! We've got gold. It's going down. Remember, I like to see a low gold price because we'll know we're in a good economy when we got blacks, having the gold teeth again. They wearing the gold teeth and the gold chains. We're in a good economy when that's happening. Anyway, gold, it is down $16.50, a percentage decrease of 1.35%, closing out gold at $1,208.60 per troy ounce of gold. We've got silver. It is also down today, 28 cents, a percentage decrease of 1.96%, closing out silver at $14.14 per troy ounce of silver. Copper is also down 1.88%. Platinum is down 1.28%. Let's go ahead and get to the agriculture, shall we? Grains, corn is down 1%. Wheat is down 1.13%. Sorry about that. We got oats down 0.61%. Rough rice down 0.19%. Soybean is up 0.88%. Soybean oil is down 1.43%, and canola is up. Canola is up, of all things, 0.12% increase. Let's go ahead and get to the soft, shall we? Cocoa, it is down 0.22%. Coffee is down 2.25%. Sugar is down 0.86%. Orange juice is down 0.29%. Cotton is down 0.84%. Lumber continues to go up. What did I say? Lumber is going up, baby. Lumber is going up because, unfortunately, we've been having a lot of natural disasters out here. And what is it going to take to rebuild? It's going to take lumber. So that's why we've been seeing gradual increases every time I've been covering it. Anyway, lumber is up 2.55%. Rubber is down 0.06%. And ethanol is down 1.10%. Let's go ahead and get to livestock, shall we? Live cattle, and I love these live cattle prices going down. But I'll tell you what, the store, or at least the grocery store, is not going down with these damn live cattle beef prices. They know it's the holidays. And believe it or not, people less and less are starting to eat turkey for Thanksgiving. And, they're starting to get steaks and, the ribeye roasts, beef tenderloins. And, I don't blame them. But, God damn it, you're making it harder for everybody else, baby. Making it more expensive out of the pocket, baby. Anyway, live cattle is down 1.69%. Cattle feeder is down 1.69%. And lean hog, if you're thinking about getting yourself a big fat-ass ham bone for Thanksgiving, a pork butt, whatever it is going to cost you, it is up 0.31% on the day. And that, my friends, is the markets for your ass, all right? Good God. Let me drink some high-quality H2O, all right? Good stuff, baby. Good stuff. Good stuff. Anyway, folks, I want to thank you very much for tuning in once more again on a Baller Friday. All right? I want to thank you all very much, for Christ's sake. And I do want to remind everybody, if at any time, if you're in the United States or Canada, if at any time that you feel like you want to call up and you have something to say to me, all right, go ahead and give me a call at 800-685-7914, okay? Once again, the number 800-685-7914, and it's 99 cents a minute, okay? So for you people that are bitching and moaning, I want to remind you that we've got people that are on YouTube, okay? YouTube, everybody's doing the YouTube. We got people on YouTube literally giving $5 for a shitty text-to-speech that most of these streamers ignore anyway, okay? So, if you're bitching and moaning, go shove it up your ass, all right? You piece of milky-licking, nipple-clamp-loving, butt-plug-up-the-ass-looking, turkey-tit-having, pickle-prick, seat-sniffing, phallic-fluffing, belch-breathing, chicken-eating corn boy crap! Shove it up your ass! Anyway, we are now in the second hour of the True Capitalist radio broadcast, okay? And I am your host, the man they call Ghost. And once again, I want to thank everybody for tuning in with me. Before we get started on anything, I'd like to ask everybody who's listening, please spread this show link around like wildfire, okay? If you're listening to the sound of my voice, you are listening to the political underground. I guarantee it. I guarantee you. You ain't going to hear what you hear on here anywhere else. I guarantee it, baby. capitalist guerrilla radio is what you're listening to, I guarantee it. Anyway, spread this show link around like wildfire, all right? And add this to your bookmarks, add this to your favorites, type this in your browser, ghost.report, all right? That's the official website. That's the official website of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. That's all you got to type in the browser, all right? Ghost.report. It's as simple as that. All right, spread it around like wildfire. And by the way, folks, I'm also going to be working this weekend trying to put some new merch up on Ghost.market. That's my other website. That's where we're selling all the True Capitalist Radio merch. And we're going to get some cool stuff. We're going to try to do some things. We're going to try to just watch, all right? I know I've been saying a lot of things here, but man, I mean, I've been worried about my health here, man. I didn't have enough energy to do shit. All right, I was what do you call it? I was withdrawn from alcohol, and I was vitamin B deficient, and I was going through vertigo and all kinds of shit. All right, so I'm telling you, I'm going to get shit done now. I feel good, baby. I feel good. I mean, you hearing me? Are you hearing me here? I feel great. I feel great. I feel wonderful. Anyway, folks, once again, Ghost.market is the merch website of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast, all right? And by the way, if you do want to see the sustainability of this the sustaining of the continuity of this broadcast, go ahead and go to Ghost.report and click the cryptocurrency wishing well tab. And, if you happen to throw in more than $25, I'll be more than happy to hook you up with a little production notes, Christmas card, and all that good stuff, all right? And by the way, if you're not a part of the True Capitalist Radio chat room, if you throw more than $25 in there, I'll let you in there. I'll let you in there right now. I'm not even kidding around. Anyway, let's go ahead and continue. And by the way, how to prove to me that you sent a payment through the cryptocurrency route, just private message me on Gab. Private message me on Gab. That's all you got to do. It's as simple as that, for Christ's sake, all right? And by the way, I forgot to promote Gab. I'm sorry. I've not been on very friendly terms with Gab for a lot of reasons, but if you want to follow me on that social media, by the way, go ahead and do so. Politics Ghost is the name to follow on Gab. All right, folks? Go ahead and follow me on there. And if you do throw something to the cryptocurrency wishing well, private message me on there, and I'll be sure to hook you up, man. Anyway, let's go ahead and get down to the nitty-gritty. We got a lot of things to talk about. I got a lot of production notes here. Got a lot of them here. Let's talk about, once again, the modern-day George Washington, the greatest president in the fucking United States ever. I'm talking about Donald Trump, all right? Let's talk about what Trump has done since the ridiculous midterm election results, all right? Trump, I don't know if y'all heard today, he signed a proclamation. You're damn right. He's going Abraham Lincoln style, baby. Donald Trump signs a proclamation denying asylum to those who enter the United States illegally, baby. That's how you do it, Trump. That's how you do it. That's how you play hardball, baby. Tired of hearing about this stupid caravan and these people that are so-called claiming asylum. I mean, get the hell out of here. We have the worst immigration in the world. It's the worst immigration in the world. Jesus Christ, I'm serious. Now, the president, even though he's denying asylum to those who are entering the United States illegally, the president did emphasize, folks, that he does want immigrants to become U.S. citizen, but legally and through merit. I think people need to understand this. It's very important, man. It's very important that we reform our immigration system so that the point of emphasis of allowing people to be U.S. citizens are those that have a process in which we take them through to make sure they're not terrorists, make sure they don't hate America, make sure they love this country and they're willing to accept the culture of this country, etc., and also what they're going to do here to support themselves, if they have any kind of skill, if they've got something to offer this country. That's what we need. Because I want to be honest with you, folks, okay? Given the new population that is the American populace, okay? And we all know what I'm talking about, folks. Let me remind you, I'm talking about the products of single mothers. I'm talking about feminists, faggots, dykes, gender benders, and weak men. That is the composition of modern-day American population, and the proof is in the 2018 midterms. I mean, take a look, and I hate to say this again, at the weirdos that we elected into the House of Representatives. I mean, why do you think they call it the House of Representatives? It's representing a portion of America. And I said, like I said in the last broadcast, this is the first wave of all these people, all right? I'm talking about, once again, and I want it drilled in the minds of people that this is what is voting for these weirdos into the House of Representatives. I'm talking about products of single mothers. If you're a single mother, you're probably incorporated in everything else, every other label I just said, all right? If you're a product of a single mother, then you're probably a feminist, all right? You're probably a faggot. You're probably a dyke. You're probably a gender bender, or you're a weak fucking man, all right? You're a weak fucking man, and I'm fucking sick of protecting weak people, because once you protect weak people, take a look at the consequence, folks. The product of the current American culture is the protection of these weak people. And now that these people are all protected, the ones forementioned, now that they're all protected, for Christ's sake, they are using and abusing that protection. All right? They are using and abusing that protection, because I say this, and I've said this for years. What exactly are the goddamn LGBTQ community bitching and moaning about? I mean, at this point, I prognosticated in 2008, 2009 on this show that in the future, because of single mothers, because of the absolute pussification of the American male, that we would see oral copulation between two men across the street from an elementary school. And not only would it be protected or accepted, it would be protected by the First Amendment. And that is the exact environment that we are in modern-day America. Now, what's the solution to this, folks? What's the solution to these products of single mothers and the all aforementioned? What is the solution? You think that we can teach these people how to be different? Absolutely not. The basis of most, and if not all, of these groups are ignorance and weakness. Ignorance and weakness, for heaven's sake. And I'm sick and tired, once again, of protecting weak people. We have a system right now that enables anybody in this country that's a U.S. citizen to be able to take whatever position they're in, whether they're born into the poverty or born into middle class. You can use your own ambitions, your own skills, your own will to go out and carve out your own life. But what we find, folks, is that many of those that incorporate, or I should say encapsulate the groups that I've mentioned, they don't work. They don't want to make something productive of their lives, for Christ's sake. As a matter of fact, if you take a look, excuse me, if you take a look at the faggots and the dykes and the gender benders, most of them have already thrown their lives on the line by being such a sexually promiscuous bunch of people. And we talked about it in the last broadcast. Who do you think wants universal health care? Who do you think wants free health care? It's these AIDS, HIV people who didn't even care about themselves. Didn't even care about themselves enough to put a condom on it. Because, folks, a condom can prevent HIV/AIDS, even if you're doing another in the pooper, all right? Even if you're doing another in the pooper, if you put a condom on it, you're going to prevent yourself from AIDS. Now, Are you going to get the herpes? Are you going to get the warts? Are you going to get, I mean, that's a different story, but it's a hell of a lot better than the fucking AIDS. And yet, these fucking gay people refuse to take personal responsibility for their own sexuality, for their own lives. Then why should we, as the taxpayer, continue to pay for this nonsense? And that's why we need, if you want my opinion, we need to go right at these groups. And we don't go at them like how they're going at us. You see, did y'all hear Tucker Carlson, the commentator on Fox, and he's been around for a long time, very conservative. Tucker Carlson, his home was literally vandalized and damn near broken into because Antifa decided to march and stand in front of his home and literally threaten him and his family because why? Because what? Tucker Carlson is what? Tucker Carlson is a conservative man. He cares about nothing but his family and the progression of this country. We can't confront them. And you know what the sad part about it is, folks? I'm going to be honest with you. We're in a situation now, if somebody was to respond and find out who these people were that marched and camped out, whatever the fuck they did, they vandalized Tucker Carlson's home. If somebody goes out there and beats the crap out of these people, it's a hate crime. Because I don't know if you saw the video of the Tucker Carlson incident. It was all a bunch of over-feminine male voices and dykes. Over-feminine male voices and dykes. So, in my opinion, I think politically, us on the right, we have to go right at them on the left. And what we do is we start advocating that we don't want to pay. We don't want to pay for any more of this AIDS nonsense. We don't want to pay for PrEP or PrEP, which is Truvada, okay? Truvada, folks, is a pill that your taxpayers are paying for, so anyone who thinks that they're gay can take it and don't have to worry about wearing a condom or getting a pause load. I'm not kidding, folks. I'm not joking. And because they're taking this ridiculous Truvada, they think they can go out and have as much unprotected sex as they want. But you see, the thing is that they got to take this Truvada pill every day. And who's paying for that? We are. We are. And you know, somebody in the True Capitalist Radio chat room, I mean the inner circle, he's in both of them, he found the cost per year in the U.S. for HIV/AIDS. You know how much it's costing the United States per year? $26.4 billion a year. $26.4 billion a year, and I guarantee you that's climbing at least 10 to 20% each year, because take a look at all these fucking pause holes out here. And folks, I'm going to be honest with you, now in this freaked out, disgusting America, if you have HIV/AIDS, you're a fucking political activist or some shit now. Haven't you heard about this now?
Oh, I've got HIV, but I'm so powerful.
I mean, folks, I told you this was coming, man. I mean, y'all remember, I keep bringing this up, but it bears repeating, okay? It bears repeating. Do you remember that RuPaul drag race contestant who got reported in the media that, oh my God, look at her, she's wearing, and they call her a she, even though it's a fucking man, she's wearing a blouse that has been dyed in HIV blood. Oh, look, so she can break the stigma. Oh, look at her, she's so brave. What an activist. What an activist. You take it up the ass, you get AIDS, and now you're an activist? I mean, listen, folks, I'm a capitalist, okay, man? I'm a capitalist, and if you're making your own money and, you're keeping your sexuality to yourself like everybody else should, and I don't care what you do in the privacy of your own home, man. You could rock Hudson Twinkie Boys all night long. I don't give a shit. I don't want to know about it, and not to mention, I don't want this LGBTQ, and once again, this is a protected class. We're protecting these weak people. And take a look at how they're reacting, okay? Jesus Christ. Look at how they're reacting. And not only are they reacting violently, for instance, going into Tucker Carlson's front yard and scaring his family, but they're going after your children, folks. That's what they're doing now. You see, remember?
Oh, just give us the right to hold hands in the street. There's no slippery slope. Oh, let me just kiss my boyfriend in the middle of the street. It's not a slippery slope. Oh, let me suck my boyfriend's cock in the fucking public right across the street from a fucking elementary school. It's not a slippery slope. Oh, let's have gay marriage. It's not a slippery slope. Oh, let me teach your fucking boy that's 8 years old how to be gay. Huh? Let me change the gender of your 6-year-old. This is why the LGBTQ is an enemy, as far as I'm concerned, of the capitalists, of the right wing, and I'm talking about the organizational component of the LGBTQ movement. I'm talking about these organizations that get all this funding and that organize all these gays that are the ones that are putting them up to these protests, etc. We can stop this by advocating that, look, y'all want some free health care, that's fine, but we don't want to pay for HIV. We don't want to pay for it. We do not want to pay for it. Look, folks, do y'all remember that one goddamn video? It was a couple of years ago. Actually, it was a little more than that. I think it was about 8 years ago. It had these stupid celebrities. And it was them saying, I bought gum. I bought lipstick. I bought this. And it talked about how much or what they bought for 40 cents. And at the end, Bono, that faggot, from YouTube, Bono says, 40 cents a day will buy these pills. And these pills help somebody with HIV stay alive. So 40 cents a day. 40 cents a day? I think that's a very small price that somebody has to pay out of their own pocket because they took bad meat in the can, okay? I'm sorry, man. I mean, come on! Where's personal responsibility? Why do tax-paying dollars have to go to take care of a bunch of AIDS victims? I don't get it. They're the ones costing the goddamn medical industry. That's a cost there. That's a goddamn cost. And I'm telling you, if you take away their little free AIDS medical care, they're going to go nuts, okay? They're going to go nuts. And by the way, if they can't get their P-Rep or Truvada drug so that they can go out and spread their pause load and take a pause, they're going to go apeshit. And this will show the country the true colors of these sick, demented, primitive thinking, I'm going to wear my sex on my sleeve pieces of trash. And another thing that needs to be done, and I think the president is going to do it, in my opinion. I think he's going to do it. I hope so. Let's just put it that way. I guess I'm being optimistic, but the president needs to unsign that ridiculous executive order legalizing gay marriage, for Christ's sake. All right? I mean, was it an executive order? I think it was an executive order. Wasn't it fucking Barack Obama that signed executive order stating that, gay marriage is legal and shit? Either way, that needs to stop. That needs to stop. I'd like to see the statistics from the time that gay marriage was legal to now. How many people that were married that were gay stayed together? How many gay couples are actually monogamous? How many divorces of gay couples have happened? It's ridiculous. And you know what gay marriage was about? It was nothing about, oh, I wanted to have my partner and be able to leave my partner this and leave my partner. All you got to do is leave a will, you fucking ungrateful pause-hole idiots. The whole reason why they wanted gay marriage legal was to desecrate Christianity and to desecrate everybody's dogma. Because that's one thing that gays hate so much. They hate
anything to do with Christianity, anything to do with any religion. That's why they're gay. That's why they're gay. I'm not kidding. I mean, I'm not joking around. Just go around gays and say, you know, what do y'all think about Christianity? And they're going to just watch the fucking bitch faces go on those queers' face. I'm like, oh my God. What are you talking about that? He doesn't care about gays. You know what I mean? All this crap. And that's how we have to go at them, folks. We got to start advocating this crap. All right? And another thing that we have to do, in my opinion, getting back to the immigration reform, another thing that we have to do, because we have this ridiculous population of, once again, products of single mothers, feminists, faggots, dykes, gender benders, and weak men, because that's literally the population that voted in the riff-raff weirdos in the House of Representatives. I think that what we need to do, folks, is start promoting, I hate to say this, because, you know, this is the American people, but I think that we need to have an immigration reform to where we can bring in people that love this country, that will work, that have trades, that can supersede these pieces of ungrateful shit that are so-called American people that voted in the type of shit that's in the House of Representatives right now. And what do I talk about? I mean, folks, we've got 2 Islamic Arab women that are in the House of Representatives that are going to wear a hijab. A hijab. Now, that is going to be in the goddamn House of Representatives? We got a muff-diving Native American, for Christ's sake, man. Oh, that's great, isn't it? Huh? What happened to Chief Slap-a-Hoe? What happened to old Chief Slap-a-Hoe? Fucking Native American bull dyke. I'm not even kidding around. Oh, yeah, in Colorado, what a piece of garbage hole that is. I guess they've smoked so much weed, they decided, hey, man, let's go ahead. You know what, dude? Let's just go ahead and fuck it, dude. Let's just go ahead and elect a gay governor, dude. Openly gay governor, dude. You know, and, you know, when he's elected, dude, maybe there's going to be fucking glory holes in bathrooms, dude. And, you know, fucking, yeah. I mean, oh, Jesus Christ. And that's why I'm saying I think that we need an immigration policy that brings in people that are going to make our country better and literally blow by these fucking American ungrateful idiots that are just bitching and moaning and supersede their votes. I'm not kidding around, man, because the way that we voted in 2018 is a definite gauge on how mature we are as a society. And I'm telling you, man, from the millennial generation, and I hate to even say it, even the Zoomers or the Generation Zers or whatever the hell they're called, I don't see anything coming out of these pieces of trash. I hate to say it. I mean, I'm not saying that all of them are garbage. I mean, remember, you know, there's always exceptions to the rule, but let's be honest. A group is defined by its majority, and as I've stated, the millennials, they have 500,000 males missing from the job market right now in Trump's America. Remember, I told you that. I told you that a couple of days ago. That was out of Bloomberg. Bloomberg News reported that. 500,000 millennial males they're not even in the market. They're able-bodied working males. They're not in the job market. Why are they not in the job market? Why are 500,000 well-bodied millennial males not in the job market, folks? Because unfortunately, whoever raised, which was the baby boomers, the damn millennials, they raised them to be a bunch of ridiculous, lazy, ungrateful, ignorant as a son of a bitch, but thinks they know everything about the world, pieces of trash. I mean, that's literally millennials, man. I mean, you know, case in point, Ocasio-Cortez, that stupid Democratic socialist out of New York. This broad is a millennial. And every time you've ever heard Ocasio-Cortez talk, it was nothing but word salad. Pure word salad. And that's a millennial. I mean, you know, this bitch knows nothing. She knows absolutely nothing, but she thinks she can run everything. And that's millennials for you, okay? That's why you've got 500,000 able-bodied men in the millennial range, the millennial generation, that are out of the job market. They're nowhere to be found. They're nowhere to be seen. So, and what's coming up in Generation Z? I just talked about, what was it, on 2 shows ago, that 11-year-old kills his grandma because she told him to clean his room. Another kid strangled his mom, and I think he burned her alive or whatever the hell he did. Killed his mom because she got pissed that he got a D on a report card, you know? I mean, this is what we're raising out here, and in my opinion, I think we need people from Europe, you know, people from, different parts of the world that are tradesmen, that are intelligent, that can make their own way in this civilization so that they can fill the void in the employment market and become productive American citizens, man. I guarantee you there are millions of able-bodied Europeans, Russians, I don't care where they come from, man. I don't give a shit where they come from anymore. So long as they can support themselves, so long as they can fill the void in the job market, so long as they can pay taxes, so long as they love this country, so long as they love America, so long as that they know, if they're American citizens, that their loyalty remains here, and they should be proud that you or me and anybody who's an American citizen is accorded the rights that are in the Bill of Rights of the Constitution, that we have the freedom of speech, that we have the ability to still elect our leaders, I mean, etc. I literally am so for a new immigration policy, just like Trump has been advocating, a new immigration policy that brings in people that go through a vetting process so that we know they love the country and they know they're going to be loyal for the country and they're going to stay here for the rest of their lives and plan to have children, etc. And on merit. We need a merit-based system, man. Because, I mean, you know who's going back to work right now, folks? I announced this a couple of shows ago as well. People that are over the age of 65, that have retired and they got bored of retirement and they decided, man, I'm bored, let me go ahead and go back to work. And they get hired by the fast food industry and the service industry. Can you believe that? That the better worker for the service industry are now people over 65 because they show up on time. They show up, period. They do a good job. They got soft skills, etc. And not to mention, there's nobody out here in the employment market that are any younger that are willing to accept the job for the pay and is willing to be loyal to the damn job. So, folks, we got a serious problem, and I think it's represented in the midterm House elections. And I think that, you know, if you want my opinion, I think we need immigrants in this country, but it's not the riffraff that's coming in from the caravan. It's not the pieces of garbage that are going to be detriments to our society that come in through the Mexican border. I'm talking about people, I'm not even kidding, Canada, South Africa, Europe, Eurasia, the Ukraine. I mean, you know, the people that are in areas of the world that are under hostility or they're under true totalitarian duress that want to get the hell out of there and become Americans and be proud of this country. Australia, England, you name it, man. I want those people to come here. If you want to be an American and you have a skill to pay the bills, then I strongly advise you to come over here and be a part of this country, because look at the products that we have here as the young. Look at the products. We got millennials that can't stop playing video games and can't stop waxing their carrots to cartoons, can't get out of their fucking mother's house. And that's another thing. You fucking millennials should be all ashamed of yourselves. All right? you won't fucking leave your mommy and daddy's house. I mean, give me a fucking break. I've never heard such a thing in my fucking life, for Christ's sake. And the reason I'm talking to millennials, because you millennials are literally the range, what is the age range? Like 26, 25 to about 36, 37, some shit like that? I mean, are you kidding me? You can't move out of your mama's house? I mean, your mommy and your daddy, I guarantee you, moved out of the house as soon as they could. You want to know why? Because independence and the ability to build their own world was important to them. But of course, you dumbasses, you've got anesthetized with cartoon fetishes and cosplay and video games, and I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid. I'm never going to grow up. Spaghetti! All this shit. And this is why you are the way you are. That's why, you know, many of you are faggots, many of you are weak men, dykes, gender benders, etc., man. It's fucking disgusting. And I think that we need more immigrants to replace some of you people. I'm not kidding. I mean, what else are we going to do? Are we going to teach these people? I mean, they're gone. The millennial generation is lost. It's gone. You can't reteach these people to be anything else than the losers they are. I mean, they're already you're supposed to nurture them when they're children so that they can be productive members of society. The fucking millennials are gone, man. You can forget about them. They're losers. They're never going to change. They're not. They're never going to change. They got to be replaced. And I think Trump knows this. That's why he's not against not letting anybody into the country. But we need people that are in the country based on merit so we can replace the riffraff of this fucking nation, man. And it's bad. And if you don't think it's bad, take a look around you, for fuck's sake, man. Hey, if you don't think it's bad, take a look at this, okay? I gabbed earlier today about this one video I saw on YouTube. Now, while YouTube continues to demonetize and ban capitalist right-wing content creators, they allow this disgusting LGBTQ garbage available for your children. Now, if you're not familiar, let me go ahead and repost this on my Gab. Take a look at my Gab right now, Politics Ghost, all one word, no underscores, Politics Ghost, and take a look if you look. Viewer discretion is advised, okay? But take a look at that goddamn video. It is of a trans testicle who's giving advice on what to eat, how to douche, how to give yourself an enema, how to clench, quote unquote, and other tips on how to prepare for anal sex, okay? How to prepare for anal sex, okay? And how not to have shit pieces left in your colon when you're about to give it up to a big schlong head, okay? I'm not joking! This is the fucking new America! This shit is the new America, for fuck's sake, man! Look at my Gab if you don't fucking believe me, for Christ's sake. Look at my Gab! It's the new fucking America! Oh, Jesus Christ. Look right there. Huh? How to prepare for the backdoor entrance is the goddamn YouTube video name. It's just disgusting. Some kind of a poshole trans testicle trying to tell your child how to prepare their anus. Huh? You remember that was a meme, wasn't it, huh? That was a meme. Take a look at the faggotry that it is encapsulated in it now, huh? You get it? You fucking weak men, you fucking faggots, you fucking dykes, and you fucking gender benders, for Christ's sake. You're fucking useless, man. Fucking useless. That's why we need an immigration policy based on merit. And we need to bring a whole new crop of real people that care about this country and care about this freedom to fucking replace you pieces of trash. And by the way, you know, not to get off on another tirade here, but I think that something needs to be done about video games, all right? I know a lot of people are going to get triggered with that one, but I'm going to go off on a rant here, okay? I think something needs to be done about video games because video games have infected these fucking people that encapsulate the groups that I just mentioned. Products of single mothers, faggots, All right? How many faggots are there in the goddamn gaming industry that are fucking chewing each other up the asshole, huh? Bull dykes, gender benders, and of course, weak fucking men who are getting their thumbs bruised, sitting there playing a video game and eating Pop-Tarts and pizza pockets to nourish their fat fucking bodies. You're goddamn right. I don't give a shit if people in the gaming community are pissed. Fuck you, all right? Fuck you. You don't produce nothing for this fucking country. You want to know what I think should be done about fucking gaming? I think there needs to be some level of regulation on gaming. Hey, since you fucking leftists want... I'm playing your game now, leftists. I'm playing your fucking game. Y'all want bigger government? Y'all want the government intruding in your lives? Y'all want government to be impeding on your freedoms? Well, I think that fucking video games should have some kind of regulation. Now, what kind of regulation am I talking about? I think that video games should be treated the same way as pornography. I'm not kidding around. I think that you should be over the age of 21 to play fucking video games as far as I'm concerned. I'm not joking. You know what I'm talking about, like fucking Fortnite, which is, taking everybody's time, effort, and energy for a fucking ridiculous, stupid, pathetic, useless game. I'm not kidding. I mean, look, I'm telling you, capitalists, this. If these fucking leftists want to play games, we got to play their fucking game. All right? And we have to elect candidates that are willing to write fucking policy that'll make this a fucking reality. And I don't think that civilized people would disagree, all right? Because games have done nothing but made a worthless worthless generations. I'm not kidding around, man. I think that games should be completely fucking regulated. I mean, they do the same thing as pornography. That's why pornography is regulated. I mean, people get hooked on pornographic material just like they get hooked on goddamn video games. And they do nothing. They do nothing but play video games. I'm serious. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. Now, don't get me wrong. If you're over the age of 21 and you're a capitalist, you can do whatever the fuck you want, okay? But let's be honest. The majority of the gaming community are a bunch of millennial faggots that live with mama. Mama! I live with my mama! Fucking faggots, man. I'm telling you, you make me sick. Bunch of anal object aficionados is what you are, you fucking pricks. And I'm serious. This is what we need to call for, all right? I'm not kidding around. This is what we need to call for, regulation on gaming, man, because we've lost generations to this shit. Anyway, let me move on, all right? Now, did you hear Michelle Obama came out and tried to talk garbage about Trump because she's shilling her fucking book, all right? She said that she'll never forgive Trump for the birther campaign. Aw, really? Is that for real? Well, you know what, Michelle? I won't ever forgive you for not coming out for being the trans testicle you are, all right? And by the way, the president responded when asked about it, said, and I loved the president's response. He said that, I will never forgive Obama for what he did to the military. And I agree, he weakened our military. I know old military dogs that look at Obama's military and call it complete faggotry, like prancing around. I mean, literally, he demoralized our goddamn military. He demoralized our military, and I don't blame it. I don't blame it. And another thing, all right? I just want to say that in this new book, Becoming Michelle... Did you know that? They've got to tell you. I told you. They've got to tell you. Anyway, her new book, Becoming Michelle, Michelle Obama claims that she conceived her daughters through IVF or inter vitro fertilization, whatever the fuck it's called. Either way, she's trying to claim that, well, I had to get artificially inseminated. That's why you never saw a picture of me pregnant. You see, she's starting to realize that people are starting to notice that, wait a minute, you fucking tranny. If you're going to sit here and try to make me believe that you're a woman, then where in the hell are pictures of you pregnant? And that's why she put out this bullshit that, I don't know, I mean, listen, let's be honest. If you have to go to be artificially inseminated, that means that Barack Obama was shooting blanks, okay? That means there was no lead in the pencil for old Barack Obama, all right? Oh, look, listen, let's be honest. We all know that Michelle Obama is a goddamn transgendered piece of trash. That's why she had to put this statement out as one of the first things to promote her fucking book, is that, well, no, you don't understand, okay? I had my child and my children with IVF. I was artificially inseminated, okay? And, yeah, that's why there's no pictures of me, okay? All right, girlfriend? All right? I'm telling you, man, I can't stand this. You know, I can't stand it. I can't believe people can't look at Michelle Obama, look at her goddamn neckline. You know those muscles, those neck muscles that you get from your neck going down to your shoulder blade, or going down to your shoulder, I should say. You know that those neck muscles that men have. Only men can get those. Only men can get those fucking big-ass neck muscles. And yet, Michelle Obama, every time she wears anything exposing her big-ass fucking 49ers shoulders, you can see those fucking neck muscles. It's blatantly obvious you're a goddamn man, for Christ's sake. And let's just say, for the sake of argument, you don't believe that she's a man. Then she obviously has something wrong with her crotch, because she's always fiddling around with her crotch. There's pictures all over the place of her fiddling around with her goddamn jock. All right? So either she's a man trying to readjust her, black ding-a-ling, okay, or, she's got bad case of the fucking crabs, or whatever the case might be, all right? It's still, since she is trying to put herself out there as a potential presidential candidate, I want to know these things, and I want to know if she's a goddamn man. Jesus Christ, man. Anyway, look, I don't want to talk too much about that trans-testicle piece of crap. Let's move on to something else, all right? Now, let's get back to the midterms, okay? Aside from the electorate being a bunch of, once again, products of single mothers, feminist faggots, dykes, gender benders, and weak men, we are basically witnessing the integrity of our voting system compromised, not because of Russians, but because of who? The Democrats. Oh, yeah, that's right, folks. That's right. You know that, folks, now, because of ballots that have come out of nowhere, there has to be recounts in Florida and potentially in Arizona. Arizona, McSally was winning all along, and then miraculously this cinema, which sounds like a fucking gay movie theater, if you want my opinion, gay whack-off movie theater, this broad cinema over here, she miraculously got votes and now puts herself in the lead. And same in Florida, folks. Have you heard about this? Florida, they found 80,000 votes out of nowhere. They just found them. Oh, here's 80,000 votes. And now you've got Nelson, who is the Democrat for the Senate, beating the Republican candidate out there, Rick Scott. And this is unbelievable. And guess where the discrepancy in voting is centered at? Guess where in Florida? Guess where in Florida that this whole voter discrepancy and these 80,000 votes that miraculously came out of nowhere, guess where in Florida? Broward County. Oh, Broward County. What are the odds of Broward County all the time being in the news of controversy, of tragedy? Come on, man. I've told you guys many times about Broward County. There's something very strange afoot over there in that county. And why is it that all these false flags, and we're going to talk about the other one in a minute, why do all these false flags come out of Broward County? And aside from the false flags, we'll get to them in a minute, lest we forget, Lest we forget, during the 2000, and I'm talking about the year 2000, when Bush and Gore were running for president, remember it came down to Florida for the presidential, or to find out who was going to be president. Do you remember that? Do you remember the scandal in Florida for the president back in 2000? Guess where it came down to in voting discrepancy then? Broward County once again. I'm not joking. Broward County was the controversial discrepancy in the year 2000 during Bush and Gore's presidential campaign. And now Broward County, almost 20 years later, is now once again at the center of a voting discrepancy, a voting controversy, and give me a fucking break, man. And by the way, folks, all right, by the way, Broward County has also been the scene of many false flags. Remember Parkland High School, the shootings? Remember those? That was in Broward County, okay? Remember the mail bomber of, it was a Caesar Sayoc? The mail bomber, all those stupid fake fucking bombs. It was ridiculous that even a fucking kid wouldn't even believe. From Broward County, all right? All Broward County. What's going on with Broward County? I told you, folks. I told you there's something wrong in Broward County. And guess what? The president is now considering playing, or having the federal government playing a role in this goddamn Florida recount, because something needs to be done. And look, all this weird stuff that's happening in this midterm voting election has nothing to do with Russia. Russia had nothing to do, once again, with any of this, oh, they're going to hack the election. They're going to hack the election. They're going to meddle in our election. We don't need Russians to meddle in our election. Look at the Democrats. That's what's happening. I mean, did you see the election, the person that was in charge of the elections? What do you call that? The election judge, or the person in charge of counting the votes in Broward County, whatever the label of that is. Did you all see this disgusting, ghetto-fied black woman? All right, I mean, she doesn't even look qualified to be there, and yet this is the woman out here, some old woman that can barely keep her eyes open. You know, she can barely keep her eyes open, for Christ's sake. She probably loved that chicken for Popeye. And she's out here counting votes, and when they've asked her, when the media's asked her how many votes still need to be counted, she said she doesn't know. She doesn't know. That's what you're supposed to know, you moron. I'm telling you, Broward County, what did I tell you folks, huh? All comes back to Broward County. And now, not only is Bill Nelson supposedly ahead in the Senate seat against Rick Scott now, but now you got that fucking communist black brother, what the hell is his name, Gillum. Now he's starting to say, man, I want to recount against DeSantis for governor, baby. I want to recount up in this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? I want to recount, even though he lost by a considerable margin. I mean, this is a joke. This is an utter joke. And by the way, the governor race in Georgia is the same way. You got some fat black bitch that's out there claiming, man, I ain't conceding, baby. I ain't conceding until I get a recount, baby. Even though she is literally beaten by a considerable margin. Remember, she was the broad that Oprah Winfrey and who I think Will Ferrell, all these celebrities were out there campaigning for this fat black communist broad. And she ain't conceding. She's like, I ain't conceding, baby. You know what I'm saying? I want a motherfucking recount of this motherfucker for Georgia governor, man. I want to be the governor. So I'm telling you, folks, it's all Democrats. I mean, they took the House, and yet they're still bitching about these seats. I'm telling you, folks, the Russians don't need to hack our elections. The Democrats are the ones committing election fraud. They're committing election fraud. It's right in front of us. It's right here. It's right in front of our eyes, for Christ's sake. And I hope somebody takes notice of it, for Christ's sake, man. Let me give me some water. Anyway, look, I don't want to talk about this, but once again, I mean, what are the odds, okay, if you're a math person, What are the odds of all these things happening in one county in Florida? What are the odds? What are the odds of that? I'm just saying, what are the odds that all these things happen in Broward County? That the 2000 elections came down to a voting controversy in Broward County. Now we got another voting controversy for the Senate and the governor's race in Florida in Broward County. The Parkland shootings were in Broward County. All right, they found the mail bomber Caesar Sayoc living in a van in Broward County. What are the odds, man? What are the odds, for Christ's sake? Oh, Jesus. Anyway, let's get to one false flag to another, okay? Another false flag mass shooting in Thousand Oaks, California, okay? 28-year-old ex-Marine. Of course, it always has to be related to the government, doesn't it? Anyway, a 20-year-old ex-Marine, David Long, drove his mother's car, supposedly, from Newberry Park to the Borderline Bar, wearing all black with a .45 caliber handgun with an extended magazine, and shot the security guard outside the bar, and then, I don't know where he got this, but tosses in a smoke grenade into the club, and then once he tosses the smoke grenade, opens fire on the crowd, and killed 13 people. All right? And he killed 13 people in a mass shooting. Now, the reason I'm calling this a false flag is because they're not even trying to fake it anymore, for Christ's sake. It's the same crap. It's the same crap, different plate. You got a perimeter going on. Police are cordoning off the area. You've got a triage of supposed ambulances. And at least they tried to make it more dramatic this time around. I don't know if you saw the footage. They had like 4 people dragging out one guy, like they were carrying him to the ambulance, even though I saw no blood whatsoever once again. And the videos that they released, all right, you hear gunshots, you see nothing. They even released one, folks, I don't know if you saw it, of inside the club during the shooting. There was nobody in the club. There was nobody in the club. Have y'all seen that? I saw it this morning. I saw it this morning on Fox. They were like, here, we have footage from inside the club during the shooting. Now, viewer discretion is advised. They show it. It's an empty fucking club, and all you see is a bunch of... you don't see nothing. You don't see anybody. And it's gunshots in the background. I mean, good God. And another thing, folks. As they were helping people and supposedly picking people up, okay... And putting people into ambulances, I want everybody to look on Google Maps, okay? And I want you all to realize that Borderline Bar in Thousand Oaks, California, Ventura County, Ventura Highway. I like that song. Anyway, Borderline Bar in Thousand Oaks, California, folks, it's down the street, literally a walk away from a hospital. Okay? Now, why in the hell do we have footage of people literally carrying somebody to an ambulance when they could easily put them in the back of their own truck? And don't tell me there wasn't trucks there. It was a fucking country bar! How come they couldn't put a couple of people in their trucks and then just go down the street from the... Look on Google Maps for yourself, folks. The Borderline Bar in Thousand Oaks is literally down the fucking street from the fucking hospital. And yet, what are the footage they show us? They show us, people carrying victims to an ambulance. I mean, if they were really concerned about saving people, don't you think that fuck this. The ambulance isn't going to do anything, all right? I mean, they're going to do probably what you can do, which is put pressure on the wound and make sure he doesn't bleed to death until they get to the hospital. You could do the same damn thing in those trucks there, and I guarantee you, if they were country folk, they would have done that. It's a fucking false flag once again, folks, okay? Same shit, different plate. And by the way, I don't know if y'all know this, but there were people at this shooting, this Borderline Bar shooting, that were at the, believe it or not, Route 91 concert. Remember The Route 91 concert, the mass shooting in Las Vegas, believe it or not, there were, and look, I found a report somewhere, at least somebody posted in the chat room here, of about like 50 or 60 people that were at the Borderline Bar that also attended this Las Vegas Route 91 concert during that mass shooting. Remember Paddock and Comp Sushi and shit? Remember that? Man, they're on fucking Comp Sushi. I mean, what are the odds of that, man? I mean, what are the fucking odds of that, for Christ's sake, man? I mean, come on. Open up your eyes. And I think people are starting to recognize. They're like, man, are you kidding me? Come on. You got to give me a little bit more evidence than this. I'm not kidding around. All right? I mean, what are the odds of all this shit? What are the odds? And, of course, what do they do right away? I mean, this shooting supposedly happened like late in the evening, right? Late in the evening. I think it was like, what is it, like 11 or 12? Something late in the evening, right? And then by the morning time, like at about 8 or 9 in the morning, the parents are there, the supposed parents of victims. They're just ready to bawl their eyes out and talk about, I mean, are you kidding me, man? I mean, I've seen people, I mean, me myself. I'm not going to go talk to the fucking media if I lost somebody I fucking loved, especially my child or my fucking spouse. I wouldn't even go out and talk to anybody if I lost my dog, if my dog died, for Christ's sake, man. Ugh. But, of course, that's to suck out the emotion of this fucking emotion-filled society that we live in. Oh, we love emotion. We wax our carrot to emotion, for Christ's sake, man. Oh, Jesus Christ. Now, once again, why would they pull off this mass shooting? Especially right after the midterms, because the Democrats have the House. And what do the Democrats want to do? What do they want to do? They want to take away guns from United States citizens when it's written in our Constitution in the Second Amendment. And they are trying to emotionally suck the energy out of America so they can relinquish that right that is accorded to us. That right accorded to us. And you see, people aren't falling for it anymore, even though all these people supposedly related. The first thing that comes out, the mothers of the victims, I don't want your sorry, I don't want your condolences, I want gun control. Hey, broads that are calling for gun control, they've got the biggest gun control city in Illinois called Chicago. I mean, they've got the strictest gun laws in Chicago. Why don't you take a look at how many murders happen because of guns? All right? Take a look at Chicago. You can't say that if you take away guns, it's going to be a safer society. It's not. They're trying to take away our guns so that they can implement totalitarianism on us. Excuse me. I'm just so fucking pissed. They want to assert totalitarianism on us without us being able to fight back. Without us ever being able to fight back. And you morons need to read the Second Amendment. The Second Amendment wasn't put there for hunting, you numbnuts. It was put there so that just in case we have a tyrannical government, the people have the right to take over the government and instill a new one. It was directly put there so that the people can fight against tyranny, whatever the fuck you want to call it. All right, and that's why these people want us and our guns to be taken away. That's why you keep seeing these mass shooting false flags, folks. That's why you keep seeing them. And listen, anytime the media puts overemphasis on something, because remember, the media, in the mainstream media, time is money. Unless they cover something so much that they're trying to get something out of you, some emotion, some action. For instance, CNN, whether they want to admit it or not, help induce that Dallas shooting that killed all those cops. Remember that? Now that was a real shooting. I keep going back to that Dallas shooting where that one fucking hardcore military brother decided that he was going to go apeshit because he had enough of, supposedly cops killing brothers, even though that is such a small scale of cop shootings that it's insignificant statistically on a national scale. I mean, more people die of tripping over shit and falling down, hitting their head. I mean, regardless, he was inspired to go out to Dallas, take a fucking fully automatic gun, and start shooting cops. You didn't see the type of MO, modus operandi, that you see on most of these false flag shootings. Cops are, they have a perimeter, they're standing around, they're talking to each other, they have a triage of ambulances there and all this shit. No, you didn't see that during that shooting. Because that was for real, all right? The Dallas shooting that shot all those cops, that was a real shooting. That was a real asshole that went apeshit that was induced by CNN. All right? That was for real. You want to know why it was for real? Because there was no fucking perimeter. As a matter of fact, the cops were so scared shitless by this dude downtown Dallas with a fully automatic weapon that they didn't even want to approach him. You know how they killed this dude? They had to have Johnny 5 is alive. They had to have a robot kill that son of a bitch. They had to have a robot kill that guy, man. There was not even a cop willing to go in and blow this guy away because this guy was obviously hardcore military. So they fucking send in a robot to kill this guy. I mean, believe me, folks, when you're in the midst of a mass shooting, you don't set up perimeters, all right? You don't set up perimeters out here and just hang out and just say, you got to stay away. There's a mass shooting back there, son. All right, just stay back right over there. Just stay back. There's fucking triages of goddamn ambulances. Give me a break! Wake up! Jesus Christ. Anyway, we are now in the third and final hour of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. And, of course, I am your host, the man they call Ghost. And once again, I want to thank you all very much for tuning in with me on this Baller Friday. I want to thank you very much. Before I get into anything, I'd like to ask everybody to please spread this show link around like wildfire. All right, if you're listening to the sound of my voice, then you are listening to the political underground, baby. All right, capitalist guerrilla radio at its finest, so please spread it around like wildfire. The website to direct people is as follows. All right, type this in your browser, add this to your bookmarks, add this to your favorites. The following, ghost.report. Okay? Ghost.report is the official website of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. Make sure to spread that around like wildfire. And I guess everybody can go ahead and follow me on Gab, all right? If you happen to have a Gab, go ahead and give me a follow at Politics Ghost. All one word, no underscores. Politics Ghost is the name to follow. Look, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to give Gab a little bit more time, all right? Maybe get their shit together. But I'm telling you, I'm not impressed with what the hell has happened here. I mean, don't get me wrong. I know that they got banned from their server or whatnot, but there should have been contingency plans, man. But either way, I'm gonna make this. I'm gonna say this. Let me just say this. If for whatever reason I am unhappy with the Gab social media microblogging format, then I'm considering to making one of my own. I'm considering of making my own microblogging situation because I mean, come on, man. And maybe it'll just be exclusive to the True Capitalist or capitalists. Or whatever, who knows? But I just don't think it's that difficult now, man. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think it's that difficult. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's not easy. I might need some people that understand IT and maybe understand. Who knows? Who cares? I'm just saying, in my personal opinion, if I'm not happy with this Gab, I'm going somewhere else. Let's put it that way. All right. But anyway. You can go ahead and Gab. You can follow me on there. Politics Ghost, all one word, no underscores. Politics Ghost is the name to follow. And by the way, if you do like the broadcast and want to sustain the continuity of the broadcast, by all means, hook it up on ghost.report and click the tab that states cryptocurrency wishing well. And, throw something into the cryptocurrency wishing well. And not only will your dreams come true, but you'll be helping the sustainability of the continuity of this broadcast. And I once again want to thank everybody who's been doing so, man. You guys rock. And once again, if you do throw over $25 of crypto into the cryptocurrency wishing well, I'll be more than happy to give you some production notes. And look, I'm going to work on that this weekend for you guys that have done it. I got you, man. Sorry that I've taken so long. I just haven't had time, haven't had energy, etc. And at the same time, I'll give you a Christmas card. And look, I'll even give you some access to the True Capitalist radio broadcast, all right? Now, to prove that you did send the crypto, just screenshot, let me know the transaction ID number, whatever, all that stuff, and private message me on Gab and let me know, and I'll be sure to respond accordingly, man, all right? All right. Anyway, now that we got that all out of the way, let's continue. Once again, this ridiculous Thousand Oaks, California shooting, once again, a false flag. We went over it. I mean, we've got reports of 50 or 60 people that were at the Route 91 Las Vegas mass shooting that were conveniently at this mass shooting as well. All right? Doesn't anybody find that fucking fishy, for Christ's sake? And by the way, like I said, the Borderline bar where this mass shooting happened was down the street from the goddamn bar. Look on Google Maps. All right? Look on Google Maps. The Borderline bar is right down the damn street. I mean, literally, it's like fucking literally down the street. It's like if you were going to go to your local corner store, like it's right there. Anyway, folks. Now, even though you've got the powers that be trying to commit, and obviously, look, I want you all to realize that these false flags also happen in Democratic or Democrat-friendly counties, Democrat-friendly states, etc. Now, even though the powers that be tried to pull off this false flag in Thousand Oaks at the Borderline bar in an attempt to try to game the narrative to take away our guns again, now that the Democrats have control of the House, it's not as if, I wouldn't say our side, but people that aren't down with the Democrats. I mean, this is all black ops. Remember, this is all black operations. This is all CIA. I mean, I don't want to get into it, but you get that this is all underworld, cloak and dagger kind of situation that's going on here. Anyway, it wasn't but hours after the media started hyping all this Thousand Oaks, California mass shooting at the Borderline bar that it's no coincidence that Ruth Bader Ginsburg conveniently had her ribs broken. Look, I don't mean to laugh, but I mean, I have to laugh because, folks, this is cloak and dagger stuff, man. I mean, lest we forget, remember, we were in the midst of the 2016 presidential campaign when Justice Scalia miraculously died. And we all know the fishiness around his death, folks. He was found with a pillow over his head. He told his Secret Service detail to stay back in Houston so we can go to this secret society meeting or whatever the hell he was. I'm not joking. You can look all this stuff up, okay? But the reason that Scalia was killed, because at that point in the campaign of 2016 presidency, remember, the FBI, the DOJ, they were all putting spies into the Donald Trump campaign. They had the Donald Trump campaign under surveillance. They had them tapped. So they anticipated that they may lose the presidency. And because they anticipated they may lose the presidency, they knew that this president was going to be in charge of nominating possibly several different judges in this presidential tenure. So what somebody tried to do, and the guy who owned the resort that Justice Scalia died in, or whatever, murdered, whatever, the guy who owned the resort, he was a guy that was not only pro-Obama and did businesses with Obama on a de facto type of subcontractual basis with Obama's government, but also was given the Medal of Freedom, or the Medal of Honor, or the Medal of Freedom. I don't know. Obama literally put a medal over this man's neck that owned the resort where Scalia was found dead. Okay? Now, why was Scalia killed? Because, like I stated, FBI had the Trump administration under surveillance. They knew they were going to win. So they wanted to make sure they had one seat to potentially halt any domination of the Supreme Court by the right-wing political persuasion. Okay? Now, remember, right off the bat, while we were in the midst of a presidential campaign, when Scalia was dead, or when he was found dead, this guy's body wasn't even cold yet before the Democrats started calling for a new Supreme Court justice. And, of course, they nominated Garland, remember? Remember that guy, Garland? They nominate Garland and tried to shove him through the goddamn Congress so that they can have one more lefty on the Supreme Court. Luckily, the Republicans were smart enough to stop that from happening, and as a result, we have Neil Gorsuch instead of Garland as that Supreme Court justice replacement for Scalia. Now, once again, let's go back to what I was talking about. We have a black operation cloak and dagger situation in this Thousand Oaks borderline bar, and then hours later, conveniently, Ruth Bader Ginsburg has her ribs broken. Now, they're claiming that she fell, okay? Now, look, I had a granny, all right, she fell, and typically when you fall, as an old person, you either fall and break your arm like my granny did, or you fall and break a hip, you fall and break a leg. How the fuck do you fall and break your ribs? I mean, I'm telling you, folks, in my opinion, I think that Ruth Bader Ginsburg got Rand Paul'd, all right? Y'all remember what happened to Rand Paul? That's another black operation that Rand Paul scared shitless to talk about, all right? I mean, they broke 6 ribs of goddamn Rand Paul, for Christ's sake. And then after that, he stopped, he was making noise, remember? Rand Paul was making a lot of noise. After he got his ribs broken, he shut his mouth. I'm just telling you, folks, politics is a dirty business. It's not a joke. This is very serious. I mean, these fucking people that are in politics know at any time there could be shots at their lives. I mean, and it's not shots by like kookster American citizens that are, politically driven. It could be amongst themselves. They could be taking shots amongst themselves. I mean, let me give you another example. Y'all remember when there was a train taking all the Republican people, all the Republican Congress, as a matter of fact, and their families from Washington to, I forgot where the hell they were going, but conveniently the damn thing ran into a truck that was just parked right as the train was going, whatever miles an hour, hit the truck, derailed, and almost killed a few of these congressmen. Definitely hurt some of the family members of these congressmen. And, these congressmen, they had to kind of, brush it off. You know what I mean? I mean, that's what, in politics, if you are going to be a politician, that's how you have to be. You got to be like, oh, well, assassination attempt, let me brush my shoulders off. That kind of shit. And guess who that was? Who could plan that? Who the hell could plan that? Yeah, you probably have a few guesses, all right? Anyway, folks, let me move on, all right? Let's stop talking about black operations, and let's talk about a little bit of foreign policy here. Did y'all hear that Secretary of State Pompeo and Secretary of Defense Mattis are in China for security talks with the Chinese? The press conference between the two sides highlighted the major grievances between the two countries, man. I mean, they talk from everything from trade disputes, freedom of navigation in the South China Sea, which is a big deal, which both sides are in major disagreement with, the self-ruled Taiwan, and China's crackdown on its Muslim minority, which is, of course, was brought up by Pompeo. And I want to be honest with you, it was a very, very contentious press conference, to say the least. The reason I paused there was because I'm starting to believe that the probability of a major conflict between the United States and China or Russia is very high, and I'm kind of anticipating it. I'm kind of looking forward to it. Because I think that not only do we need a war to toughen up these pussies that we have in American society, but we also need to assert America's dominance and to show these globalists that we mean business and we will not go quietly in that good night. Now, once again, both sides in this press conference were basically airing out grievances with one another. And I think that China, if it wants to renegotiate the trade deal and then just shave off about 250 to 300 billion off of the 600 billion that we have on a trade deficit on an annual basis with China, I think that we could be in business. But, you know, the Chinese believe that we're just supposed to give them this money, that, you know, we're just schmucks, you know, that we're their slaves or something, and they don't want to, you know, they don't want to do shit. They don't want to budge an inch. And that's why the president has been hard on these guys. That's why he's implemented tariffs on about $250 billion worth of Chinese goods. And the president has promised in December, all right, in December, I'm going to tell you this right now, if there is no deal with China as it relates to this trade dispute, we are going to see all-out tariffs on everything that China imports into the United States. So keep that in mind right before the holidays, all right? You want to do your Christmas shopping and you want cheap Chinese goods to give to your loved ones, do it now, because if there is no deal as it relates to this trade dispute with China, then we're going to see a tariff on all China imports, all of them. All of them. And I want to be honest with you, the press conference between Pompeo and Mattis and the Chinese authorities, it was broadcasted today. You can probably find that on YouTube. Very contentious, man. Very, very, very war-footing-esque. I don't know, man. I'm just saying. I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. As a matter of fact, I'm glad that we're playing this kind of hardball with China. Because China needs to understand. And look, these are all separate issues. Like, aside from the trade disputes, the freedom of navigation in the South China Sea. I mean, remember, folks, we've almost had some international incidents with the United States military and the Chinese military in the South China Sea. And I think that, you know, that is a pretty serious war footing, if I don't say so myself. You could probably look up some of that footage on YouTube in which, you know, some warships between the United States and China almost ran into each other, almost, you know, within 45 feet from running into each other, and it could have caused a major incident. And I personally believe that this South China Sea dispute, it's not just between the United States and China. It's those countries that border the South China Sea. Now, China believes that they have the authority to build that artificial reef. If you're not familiar with the South China Sea geography, China built its own artificial island and is putting all kinds of military armaments and airstrips and all kinds of military installations, and it's threatening the bordering countries that border the South China Sea. And that's why the United States is there, to try to check this vulgar display of power by the Chinese, and that's why it's becoming a little bit warlike in the South China Sea between the United States and China. And lest we forget that a self-ruled Taiwan is another issue that the Chinese are having a very big grievance against the United States on. And the reason is because the Taiwanese are the remnants of the Chinese nationalists that fought against not only the Japanese invasion in World War II, but also the communists of Mao Zedong. These were the people of Chiang Kai-shek. All right, the Chiang Kai-shek was the leader prior to Mao Zedong taking power. His people literally went to Taiwan and reorganized, and that is literally what comprises the Taiwan geopolitical area. It is the Chiang Kai-shek Chinese nationalists, and they hate the communists. And the communists in China, mainland China, they believe that Taiwan is their property. They believe that Taiwan is theirs, and they have been threatening to all-out invade Taiwan to usurp the authority of that geopolitical area, and Taiwan has said, bring it on. Bring it on, and Trump, when he became president, he acknowledged Taiwan, which infuriated the shit out of the Chinese. It infuriated the shit out of the Chinese, and that's why the Chinese are bringing up this Taiwanese issue on top of everything else. And not to mention what we did in the United States, I'm talking about Pompeo and Mattis, we talked about the crackdown that China's doing on its Muslim minority. And for you folks that don't know the Muslim minority, it is the Uyghurs. All right? The Uyghurs. No, I'm not. That's how you pronounce it. I'm not trying to be racial or anything. That is the Muslim minority in China. And of course, we've reported on it on this broadcast that the Uyghurs in China are being persecuted. They're being put into re-education camps. Their mosques are being bulldozed over. And let me tell you, I've said this, and I'm going to continue to say it. The Muslims are going to, or let's just put it this way, China's going to find itself in a Muslim problem. And there's going to be a lot of terrorist attacks on either China, mainland China, or Chinese interest because of this Muslim crackdown that it's having in its country. And I don't want to get into the 411 about the United States utilizing the jihadist forces that it created. As a matter of fact, I'm writing an article about that. It's going to take me a minute. I'm almost done with it. It basically highlights the reason why the CIA created modern-day Islamic terrorism, because it wanted to goad Russia into invading Afghanistan, and once it did, it lured these jihadist youth Arab fighters from the Middle East to comprise the Mujahideen, and literally the CIA funded, trained, and armed the Mujahideen, which is now, well, it depends on how you look at it, which is now ISIS or Al-Qaeda. And they've always been under the direct control of the CIA. And if you don't believe me, wait till I put out that article. I give you detailed information on what's happening and why the war on terror was nothing more than a literal psyop to justify the incrementalism of totalitarianism. I mean, what has happened since the war on terror? What's happened? The Patriot Act? I mean, we can't go on to an airplane without somebody from the TSA legally molesting you, your wife, your child, you know? Now we've got fingerprint and retinal scans. I mean, it's getting to the point, folks, where this is what this whole war on terror was supposed to inspire all along, and we're seeing the remnants of that happen and come to pass. Anyway, let me move on, folks. I don't want to get into too much of a soliloquy on that. Let's talk a little more about the president, because after he basically had his press conference this morning in the White House lawn, he took a flight from Washington, D.C. to France. And believe it or not, the president and Melania are in France to commemorate the 100 years since the World War I armistice. That's right. It's been 100 years since the World War I armistice, where it's like, all right, that's enough. This is supposed to be the war to end all wars. That's what they called World War I, the war to end all wars. But unfortunately, they had World War II not too long after that because of the agreements made in World War I. Now, what's funny about this is that the head of state in France, little pretty boy Macron, who has an old bag wife, remember that old bag wife who used to be his theater teacher? Ugh. Anyway, Macron warns right before Donald Trump, right before while he's in the air, while he's headed to France, Macron warns in a speech that nationalist leprosy threatens Europe. Can you believe that? That's what he said. Nationalist leprosy threatens Europe. And in the same speech, Macron calls for what? What does he call? He calls for an EU army, baby. A European Union army, so that the European army can quash any nationalist uprising that's happening with the EU nation states. Didn't I say that this was going to happen about a couple of years ago? I mean, not only do they want their own army, I'm talking the EU, they want their own nuclear weapons now. And the justification on why they want an EU army is to protect itself from China, Russia, and the United States. Right? These are supposed to be our friends, right? I thought the EU were supposed to be our friends. That's why they want an EU army, folks. And I'm glad the president called out Macron. And you know, the president called out Macron while he was in the air in Air Force One on Twitter, baby. You know, that's that's my president right there, man. Anyway, let me read you the tweet. The tweet by the president is as follows. While he was in the air, all right, he says, President Macron of France has just suggested that Europe build its own military in order to protect itself from the U.S., China, and Russia. Very insulting, but perhaps Europe should pay its fair share of NATO, which the U.S. subsidizes greatly. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I think we need to pull the subsidies from NATO, because the majority of those NATO allies comprise the European Union. And the whole concept of NATO was to protect all the alliance members of NATO against a strike from Russia. You see, folks, under the NATO treaty, any one of the countries that are a part of the NATO alliance, if any one of them are attacked by Russia, then all the NATO alliance attacks Russia. That's what NATO is all about. Okay? And we, the United States, like I've been saying for years, for whatever reason, we're financing this goddamn financial institution, and I don't understand why. I never understood this. And I'm glad, once again, I say this every show, I'm glad we have a president that not only understands this, but has the balls to renegotiate trade deals, has the balls to call out these international institutions to pay their fair share. I'm glad, baby. I'm glad. And I'm glad the president is calling out this globalist shit. You know, I mean, you got Macron, the president of France, calling, what was it, speaking against and warning of nationalist leprosy, nationalist leprosy, and calls for a European Union army so that the European Union army can quash countries within the EU like based Poland or based Hungary or based Italy. I mean, this is why they want an EU army. And once they have their EU army basically suppress the nation states that are their members, and then they get nuclear weapons, then they're going to try to flex nuts at us. And I'm telling you, the EU, I'm not friendly with the EU. This is communist nonsense. And that's why I always told you that the concept of the EU is nothing more than a goddamn communist idea. A communist globalist idea. And what have I said, folks? Globalism is communism. Globalism is communism. Always remember that. And I'm glad the president understands this. I'm so glad, because, you know, I'm going to be honest with you, man. You know, people are so fucking stupid. I mean, you know, you got these people on the left that are all talking about open borders, open borders, open borders. And the president has repeated constantly, without a border, you have no country. And I'm going to repost one more again on my Gab, okay, about what has happened to Europe. since the onslaught of wild jihadist Yehudis entering the nation states of the European Union, okay? Because that is the blueprint on what it's going to take to destroy America. That's why the Democrats advocate open borders. That's why they advocate illegal immigrants. That's why they finance these fucking caravans to try to fucking invade the United States. Take a look at my gab right now. Take a look at my gab. That right there, that video that shows what happened within a mere 3 years. Remember, the migrant crisis of Europe was a mere 3 years ago. Look at the amount of irreparable damage that has happened. It's irreversible. Take a look at my gab and take a look at that video right there. That right there, what's happening to Germany, what's happening to France, what's happening to Sweden, that is the blueprint to take down America, and that's why the Democrats want open borders. That's why they want illegal immigrants, and we've got to stop them. The American people that want to preserve the rights of the Constitution, that want to preserve the rights of the Bill of Rights, have to stand up and say, hey! We don't want an open border. We don't want your fucking globalist bullshit world. We don't want your communism. This is America, damn it. And we'll fight to the death. We will fight to the death if you're going to take over our rights and our country. You piece of globalist trash. We'll fight to the death. And that's why, thank God, Donald Trump is president. Because any other so-called president would have helped facilitate this whole goddamn globalist crap. Unbelievable, man. And I'm telling you, once again, take a look at my gab. Right now, take a look at that video. That's the blueprint to destroy America. How the EU has destroyed the nation states of the European Union by the migrant crisis is the same blueprint to destroy America. So wake the fuck up. All right, all of you in America, wake up and take pride that you are in an American country that is now not only economically prosperous, but you have the freedom. And believe me, these fucking leftists, these Democrats are trying to take away our fucking freedom of speech. They're trying to take our fucking freedom of fucking bearing arms. They're trying to take away every fucking freedom they can, and we gotta stop these fucking totalitarian freaks. We gotta stop them. We gotta stop them. Fucking wake up, you morons. Shit. Anyway, let me move on. And by the way, I mean, it's a Baller Friday, okay? I feel like getting off here. It's not that early. I've still got about 30 minutes left. But let me get through with these two stories, and then I'm getting the hell out of here. And I'm gonna go have something to eat, all right? I'm going to go have some more steak, bacon, and throw a little salad in there. Yeah! Anyway. Let's go ahead and talk a little bit about North Korea, folks. Did you hear that the North Koreans have scrapped nuclear talks with Secretary of State Pompeo without no explanation whatsoever? That's not good, huh? North Korea once again scraps nuclear talks with Secretary of State Pompeo with no explanation. I'll tell you why the North Koreans have stopped talking to Pompeo, because unfortunately the Republicans have lost the House, and I don't think that Kim Jong-un thinks that the United States, with a broken government, has the authority to save him if he decides to go on our side. I mean, lest we forget, folks, people that go on our side, as far as other countries are concerned, it depends on who you are. It doesn't pan out very well. I mean, lest we forget that we had Muammar Gaddafi literally try to relinquish his weapons of mass destruction, let the IAEA, the International Atomic Energy Agency, come into Libya to inspect for any nuclear weapons. He tried to show the transparency just like they're trying to do to North Korea, and look what happened to Gaddafi. And what happened to Gaddafi, unfortunately, was a byproduct of administration, because George W. Bush Jr. was the one that accepted Gaddafi and his and his willingness to be able to allow IAEA inspectors into his country to prove that he did not have any weapons of mass destruction. Now, Muammar Gaddafi's son, when he was captured, he said in an interview, and I don't have the interview offhand, but I do remember him saying that, you know, our biggest mistake was not getting those goddamn nuclear weapons. I mean, well, I'm sorry, man. I mean, it's funny, but it's not funny. But, I mean, I can understand why North Korea right now, as far as Kim Jong-un, is scrapping the nuclear weapon talks right now with Secretary of State Pompeo with no explanation, because I don't think that North Korea or Kim Jong-un thinks that America has the clout, or at least Trump at this point, because the House got lost. And he saw that when Muammar Gaddafi had a deal with Bush Jr. and Bush Jr. ran out his tenure and Barack Obama came into power, Barack Obama and the European Union used their black operations to overthrow Gaddafi, man. And if you don't believe me, remember, I always told you that the CIA created Al-Qaeda. And if you don't believe that, then you're an idiot at this point. But what did Gaddafi say in an interview during the time that they had these so-called, you know, people rising up in his country? He said it's not his people rising up, it's Al-Qaeda, it's Al-Qaeda, it's Al-Qaeda. He kept saying it. And why is Al-Qaeda trying to infiltrate his country and take over military bases and shit? Because I really don't know, folks. I mean, I've always questioned why the hell the policy of the United States was to destabilize the Middle East. But then as time went on, and as we saw the migrant crisis in Europe, it all made sense. It all made sense. It's an easier consolidation to globalism. You destabilize the Middle East, and believe me, when they destabilized the Middle East, they made a lot of battle-hardened Yehudis. Wild Yehudis from the Middle East. They're all battle-hardened, man. They've all seen heads chopped off. They've all seen body parts. I mean, they've probably seen it all. And then you allow them into a pacified, pussy-whipped socialist Europe. I mean, it was very easy for those people to completely plunder and pillage Europe, because Europe doesn't know how to deal with these types of savage people. And you know, that was by design, because guess what? Once they allowed these refugees into Europe, and those refugees started causing terrorism, who did the European Union punish? Who did the nations of the European Union punish? They punished the domestic populations. They punished the domestic populations by incrementally bringing in more and more totalitarianism and less freedom. And there's nothing anybody can do about it in Europe. Why? Because they have no fucking guns. They don't have the right to bear arms. They've just got to sit there and take it like a bunch of fucking serfs. Do you understand? That's why the Second Amendment is so goddamn important. Because if you have a tyrannical government like that, there's nothing you can do about it when they take away your right to bear arms. You want another example of how having your rights to bear arms leaves you with nothing, with no type of opposition, with no type of way to fight back against tyranny? Take a look at Venezuela. Take a look at Venezuela, folks. Now, I know there's a lot of people that are out there that feel sorry for Venezuela because they're starving to death. And, I mean, believe it or not, folks, Venezuela is causing 3 million Venezuelans to be ejected from the... Or they're not ejected. They're leaving the country. And they're sparsely scattered all over South America. We've got somebody in the chat room, what's going on to him, that is from Argentina. And he's saying that, man, there are so many Venezuelans, they're starting to make him sick. And listen, I mean, you got to feel bad. I'm not saying I don't feel bad for the Venezuelan people, but lest we forget that the Venezuelan people were an emerging economy prior to the communists taking over. Lest we forget that Venezuela's got the third largest oil deposit in the world. Okay? What happened? Folks, the idiots in Venezuela, the people of Venezuela voluntarily voted in communism. They voluntarily voted in communism by voting in Hugo Chavez. Remember Hugo Chavez? Hugo Chavez. You remember that guy? And Hugo Chavez, of course, in his communist nature, decided to expand spending and spend it on all these social programs and all this nonsense. And, of course, people are like, yeah, look, I told you Hugo was for us, man. He was going to give us stuff. Look at Hugo. He's giving us all this stuff, man. And then what happened? He pacified the people. He pacified the people with communism. And once he pacified the people with communism, what did he do? He told them to relinquish their guns. He told them to relinquish their guns so that they can have a, quote, more safer society. A more safer society. And you know what? Because everybody believed this communist bullshit that goddamn Hugo Chavez was selling, they gave their guns up. They gave their guns up. And as I've told you about communism, communism is nothing more than central planning of the government, meaning that you as an individual, you as a person who lives under communism, you have no rights, you have no decision-making abilities, nothing. You can decide nothing for yourself. You relinquish that to the state. And unfortunately, after Hugo Chavez died, and I'm not to say that Hugo didn't screw them, because eventually Hugo screwed them. They wanted him gone. They tried to make a coup on him. They couldn't do it. All this shit. There's a big history for Hugo Chavez. Anyway, Hugo Chavez dies because he's a fat bastard and he got cancer, supposedly. All right. Anyway, he appoints Nicolas Maduro as his replacement. And because the central communist government of Venezuela, because it planned, remember, that's what communism is. We're central planning. They planned all these anticipated costs for the country based upon $100 a barrel of oil. Remember, they're the third largest oil deposit. So they planned out everything for the government's future based on $100 a barrel of oil. Folks, we started seeing the first remnants of people starving in Venezuela around 2015. I remember it very vividly, man. The fall of 2015. Remember, the damn barrels of oil back then were like $29, $28 a barrel. The damn barrel was worth more than the goddamn oil at that particular time. And just imagine that you're a communist central government that planned out everything. Remember, that's what you do as a communist. You plan out everything for your country. All the raw materials to produce goods, all the materials to pacify your population, to suffice medical supplies to your hospitals, etc. They planned the purchase of all this based upon $100 a barrel of oil. And when you don't have $100 a barrel of oil and you only got $28, $29 a barrel of oil, how the hell are you going to pay for anticipated cost that you planned 4 or 5 years ago? You can't. You can't do it. And that's why Venezuela is a third world shithole now, because of fucking central planning, because of communism, because of socialism, whatever you want to call it, this idea that government can just constantly give you this, give you this, give you this. And now that the government can't give shit anymore, now the people have to suffer collectively, because that's what communism is about. I mean, you should be a good communist and suffer collectively. All right? You should, damn near be malnourished and thin collectively. That's what communism and socialism is, folks. It's the equal distribution of misery. That's what it is. That's what it is. Good God. Anyway, last but not least, okay? Last but not least, the UK urges to keep, quote, violent Tommy Robinson out of the United States. Oh, my God. And for you folks that don't know, Tommy Robinson, he's been invited to speak in Washington, D.C. by some group. Okay, I forgot who it is. And the UK is now trying to urge Secretary of State Pompeo, President Trump, to prevent Tommy Robinson from coming to the United States. Now, I want to be honest with you. I don't think Tommy Robinson is violent. I don't think Tommy Robinson is a bad guy. He's a Brit who cares about his country, who sees that this migrant crisis has caused nothing more than a Muslim influx in his country, and now he's got fucking kebab shops every goddamn time he turns around. Now you got Muslims everywhere, you got hijabs everywhere, you got Sharia zones everywhere, and he's kind of tired of it. He's trying to speak against it. And they're calling this guy, Tommy Robinson, a violent guy? Just give me a break. I feel bad for Tommy Robinson, for heaven's sake, man. I mean, did you hear that PayPal banned Tommy Robinson because, well, our pussy whip fucking leftist mindset? That's why. Oh, my God. I'm telling you, man, they're trying to demonetize everybody. They're trying to demonetize everybody. Look, you can't... Tommy Robinson can't even use PayPal, for Christ's sake. Who is PayPal to make judgment on who makes transactions and who doesn't, for Christ's sake? It's business. It's transactions. Give me a fucking break, man. Oh, my God. Give me my freaking water. Makes me sick, man. It just makes me sick, man. Tommy Robinson is not a fucking violent guy. He's not, man. He wants the fucking Jehudis that are in his country that are changing it into some kind of Britanistan. He wants them the hell out. And I don't blame him. He wants to preserve the history and the culture of Britannia. I don't blame him. Okay? I don't blame him. But no, you try to highlight anything of that nature, it's nationalist leprosy. All of a sudden, you're violent Tommy Robinson, for Christ's sake. What a bunch of garbage. What a bunch of garbage. And once again, PayPal, for whatever reason, bans Tommy Robinson because who knows? Who the fuck knows? Folks, they've banned me a long time ago from social media, from transaction companies, etc. All right? They're trying to silence us on the right, and it's about time for some of you folks that are on the sidelines to step on the front lines and start realizing that unless we support each other, unless we support independent right-wing content, unless we support independent right-wing politicians, we're not going anywhere. Do you understand? We're not going anywhere. And that's why the left is trying to make it so difficult for us, for Christ's sake. But it's time for you to open up your eyes and realize that you got to take action. All right, you got to support the right wing. You've got to support capitalism, for Christ's sake. If not, we're going to lose it, folks. We're going to lose it. Look at how aggressive these goddamn leftists are, for Christ's sake. They're trying to intimidate us out of our own ideas. They're trying to intimidate us out of our own philosophy. And we've got to stand up and we've got to fight against it. And we can't be afraid of the repercussions, for heaven's sake, man, because they sure as hell ain't. They sure as hell ain't afraid of the repercussions. But do we have anybody out there? Do we have especially anybody out there in America or throughout the world? Remember, folks, when I speak, I'm not just speaking for America. I'm speaking for every one of you that are in one of these shithole, about-to-be communist countries. It's time for you to do something. It's time for you to infiltrate your government. It's time for you to espouse ideas. It's time for you to write books. It's time for you to promote capitalism because, folks, capitalism is the ultimate freedom. It gives you the freedom of your own choice. Doesn't it feel good to have a choice? In communism, you have no choice. In communism, if you refuse to work, you're either put in a re-education camp or you're killed. In America, if you choose not to work, you become what? A bum. Big fucking deal. And people don't understand that, especially people that have been brought up in this country that are just completely spoiled and ungrateful. at the rights that we have been blessed with as a country. Completely spoiled at the freedom that you're born into, for Christ's sake. Oh, God. Anyway, that's about it. We got about 10 minutes left, but I'm going to end the broadcast here, folks. All right? Anyway, I just hope that you take what I say on this broadcast and understand, folks, that, you know, it's starting to seem as if people are more worried about their fucking video games, their cartoon fetish, their fucking cosplay, and all this fucking man-child horse shit. And meanwhile, while they're doing that, leftists are just coming in and they're going to take power. And that's why I'm telling you, us on the right, if we got to play games, we got to play these games. And what I think we should do is we need to go after the LGBTQ's HIV AIDS drugs and their PrEP Truvada. Okay? And we also have to go after the video game industry. Okay? I'm not even kidding around. I think the video game industry needs to be regulated. And since the leftists all want regulation, since a lot of gamers think Democrats are so great, why not regulate video games? I mean, that's what you voted in, you dumbasses. All right? When you vote Democrat, you're voting in more regulation. You're voting in more laws. You're voting in more taxes. So I'm saying we got to fight fire with fire. Why not start saying, hey, we need to treat video games like it's pornographic material? And we should make sure that anybody who has video games is over the age of 21. Is over the age of 21. And if you want my opinion also, folks, I don't think people with mental disorders, and I'm talking about anybody who thinks they're autistic, Asperger's, any of this other horse shit, I don't think these people deserve to play games either. I think they should be regulated out. I mean, because look, folks, I think there's a direct correlation now with these younger generations who are given a video game right when they're out of the fucking womb with the activities and the violence that we have seen here recently. Remember, I told you about two stories. One kid killed his fucking grandma because, I don't want to clean my room. Another kid killed his mother for arguing with him about a D grade on his report card. So in my opinion, I think that's what this needs to be done. I don't think that people comprehend games for what it is. It's a game, you asshole. It's a game. It's where you waste time. You're wasting time. You're wasting time, effort, and energy. And like I said, all right, like I said, even if you're somebody who is working and that's what you want to do, and you pay your own taxes, and you're not collecting off of the government, by all means, you can fucking play video games till the cows come home, so long as you suffice your own goddamn way. I don't care. But the majority of people that are playing video games, folks, are millennials who are living with their mother. And the reason they're living with their mother is because they'd rather play video games all day than actually play the game of life. And that's why most of them are a waste of life. And why should we continue to perpetuate this routine of wastes of life when we can cut it off at the pass and regulate video games so that people over the age of 21 have to get it? Or you have to be over 21. You have to also not have any kind of mental disorders like autism or Asperger's where you actually believe that this is fucking real and like, hey, yeah, I'm a big fan, and start dressing like it and cosplay and horse shit like that. And I believe also, if you are somebody who purchases a video game for somebody under the age of 21, you should be charged for contributing to the delinquency of a minor, like you're giving away alcohol. I'm not joking. I mean, I think that this is what needs to be done because this is a contributing factor on why we have such loser generations in the millennial generation and the Generation Z generation. I'm not kidding. This is why we have so many losers. I just told you earlier in the broadcast, folks, that we have 500,000 well-bodied, well-abled millennial men that are not in, for whatever reason, the job market, and we all know why they're not. They're playing video games, they're waxing their character cartoons, they're playing cosplay and all this bullshit. 500,000 millennial men that are not in the job market, and I attribute it to the video games, folks. I think that the majority of that, the reason we have 500,000 millennial men not in the U.S. job market, and this is out of Bloomberg, so I'm not just pulling the statistic out of my ass. I believe it's because of video games, man. I mean, look at how... Folks, we're so obsessed with video games that if you go on YouTube right now, you will find like 40 or 50,000 people, depending on who you're watching, that are watching somebody playing video games. I mean, that's like the popular thing to do. To sit on your fat ass in back of your computer or on your phone and watch another schmuck play video games while he's talking like some fucking impotent, immature, man-child, fucking weak man dork. That's what's happening now, all right? I mean, it's not even, they're playing games. Now they're watching people play games. What kind of fucking loser garbage is that? Oh, I'm tired of the fucking losers in America. I'm tired. We used to be the country of exceptionalism. Remember that? The United States used to be the country of exceptionalism. Look at us now. So, hey, since y'all want to elect Democrats, since y'all want to play this game, we can play games. I mean, the right can play games. All right, y'all want to play games? Y'all want Democrats so bad? Let's put more laws out there. Let's put laws to show you that you had freedoms, but because you wanted to vote in Democrats, which have a hard-on for making laws and bureaucracy and raising taxes, well, then, by God, you're going to see. You dumbasses are going to see what it is, all right? You dumb, stupid fucking waste of life. And listen, if you're pissed at me because I'm calling your millennial ass a waste of life, well, then go do something. I mean, I have to say that at least Generation X, the generation that brought us grunge music, that loved grunge music, Nirvana, Soundgarden, Stone Temple Pilots, Alice in Chains, those types of folk. At least the Generation X generation is coming out and is starting to take control of institutions of power. I mean, we saw it. We saw it, folks. We saw it in this past midterm election. Take a look at the senator that unseated McCaskill in Missouri, Jeff Hawley. 38-year-old gentleman right there, Generation X. And even though I hated this fucking stupid fucking fraud, parents of drug dealers, whatever, Beto O'Rourke at least is running. He's a Gen Xer from Generation X. I think he even had a grunge band. I mean, I'm not saying I'm for Beto O'Rourke, but it's refreshing to see that Generation X is finally starting to come up and take its reign of institutions of power. But where are the millennials at, huh? Oh, yeah, you got Ocasio-Cortez. That's right. That's a millennial, folks. A millennial doesn't know shit from Shinola, but thinks they can run the world. You know that? That's a millennial. Literally. Don't know shit from Shinola, but thinks they can run the world. I mean, all you got to do is do a YouTube search right now for Ocasio-Cortez and listen to the word salad this stupid ditzy bimbo says on a consistent basis. I mean, she's afraid to take interviews now because she knows she's such a fucking dunce. She has banned press from going into her rallies because she knows that she's a fucking idiot. That's millennials for you right there. That's millennial. Fucking waste of life. A lost generation. Pieces of fucking shit. I spit on you, millennial faggots. Puh! Go take it up the ass, you fucking faggots. Jesus Christ. Anyway, I'm getting the hell out of here, all right? All right, I'm getting the hell out of here. I'm going to go celebrate my Baller Friday. And by the way, I will be in the True Capitalist Radio chat room here in about 30 minutes, maybe a little longer, 45 minutes. I'm going to go eat something. And by the way, I also want to say that I will be back this Monday, 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. The show will go on. All I ask from you is to spread this show around like wildfire and let everybody know that True Capitalist Radio is in effect and in the house. And once again, we are live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Texas, United States time, right here on the official website of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. Type this in your browser, add this to your bookmarks, add this to your favorites. The following, ghost.report. All right? Ghost.report is the official website of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. And, of course, if you want to follow me on Gab, it's my only social media right now. If you want to follow me on Gab, go ahead and do so under the name Politics Ghost. All one word, no underscores. Politics Ghost is the name to follow on Gab. And one more thing. If you do want to see the sustainability of this broadcast, if you want to see the continuity of this broadcast, then by God, go to ghost.report and tap on the cryptocurrency wishing well tab and throw some cryptocurrency into the wishing well. And not only will all your dreams come true, you will be helping the broadcast continue to sustain itself. Anyway, once again, I want to thank everybody who has been throwing some crypto into the cryptocurrency wishing well, man. Thank you guys once again. Once again, it's not much, all right, but still, just knowing that there's some fans out there that appreciate it, man, that's what keeps me going, man. That's what it's all about. All right, and I appreciate you guys as much as you guys appreciate me with the cryptocurrency, crypto wishing well. I really do appreciate it, man. All right? And I want to say cheers to you guys, and have a happy Baller Friday! All right, to all of you folks out there. Anyway, folks, I'm going to get the hell out of here. Until Monday, 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Until next time, long live the capitalist army, and death to feminism, death to socialism, and death to communism. Have yourselves a happy Baller Friday. I will see you Monday. And for the True Capitalist Radio chat room, I'll be in about 45 minutes. I'm out of here. Woo!